Jeffrey Epstein. This is on more than the Epstein victims. This is representative, I think, and symbolic of every woman who has ever fought for justice and never gotten it.
It's about time. That comment from Danielle Bensky to CBS News. Bensky says at age 17, she was recruited to massage Epstein.
I just hope that everybody does the right thing so that anybody who has done any harm is just brought in for accountability.
Former Clinton administration Treasury Secretary Larry Summers says he's stepping back from public commitments after his emails with Epstein were released.
The trove of documents unveiled by the House Oversight Committee last week included dozens of emails between Summers and Epstein. Many of them were from the late 2010s, after Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges, but before he was charged with sex trafficking. There's no evidence Summers engaged in any illegal activity. In a statement, the Harvard professor says he is deeply ashamed of his actions and recognizes the pain they have caused. He says he takes full responsibility for his misguided decision to continue communicating with Epstein. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
After some 130 arrests by federal immigration officers in Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh is preparing for the Trump administration crackdown to hit there today. WCNC-TV reporter Harrison Grubb in Raleigh with comment from Mayor Janet Cowell.
In a statement, Cowell says in part, quote, "As the capital city, it is important to us that everyone who lives, works, plays, and learns in Raleigh feels safe." The mayor stressed that Raleigh is a safe city, pointing to decreasing crime.
The UN Security Council votes on the Trump administration's blueprint to secure and govern Gaza.
14 votes in favor, 0 votes against, 2 abstentions. The draft resolution has been adopted.
CBS's Holly Williams.
The resolution essentially provides international backing for President Trump's 20-point peace plan, which was the basis for this ceasefire in Gaza that's held for over a month now, although there have been sporadic outbreaks of violence and at times it's looked very shaky.
Israel says the plan will bring peace and prosperity, and the Palestinian Foreign Ministry wants urgent implementation of the plan. The European Union says Amazon and Microsoft cloud services could face tougher rules. After spitting on Steelers defensive back Jalen Ramsey, Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase is being fined and suspended for a game. Chase says even though footage appeared to show him spitting on Ramsey,
I ain't never opened my mouth to that guy. Well, he don't like some of the words I told him. We've been going back and forth the whole time, so I'm sure some got under his skin.
This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got rain in downtown St. Louis. It is 51 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Happening today, jailed Sheriff Alfred Montgomery will return to the courthouse he once protected to stand trial.
The trial is not his federal criminal case, but rather the Quo Warranto, where Attorney General Catherine Hanaway seeks to remove the embattled sheriff. If Montgomery is found guilty on just one of the 5 counts against him, he will be removed from office permanently.
There's a pretty long list of ways that he is either not doing his job or abusing his authority, and we feel pretty good about the trial.
The counts against Montgomery include having a deputy transport his children to and from school, refusing to transport detainees in need of medical care, and having the deputy jail commissioner detained. He also faces a new count which argues due to his own criminal detainment, he cannot do the job of sheriff. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The open-ended unfair labor practice strike continues at Starbucks locations in 40 cities today, including St. Louis. You'll see picketers outside the location on Hampton Avenue, just south of Forest Park. You might not be able to get your coffee. Barista Daci Spoltori explains why they're doing this.
We want better hours so stores are properly staffed and workers can qualify for the benefits Starbucks brags about. We want more take-home pay because our healthcare, our rent, our groceries, they keep getting more and more expensive.
The union Starbucks Workers United says the company is not negotiating with employees who voted to organize.
A former Cape Girardeau councilman admitted to asking officers for preferential treatment about 20 times after he was arrested for buying meth. 55-year-old Retney Pierce pleaded guilty to drug charges Monday and admitted he told investigators he was friends with high-ranking officials and judges. He now faces up to 20 years in prison.
A final vote comes today for changing St. Louis County's purchasing code.
The purchasing code is how the county acquires all its goods, services, and construction projects. Republican Councilman Mark Harder is worried that the bill would handcuff the county's future.
Our surrounding counties around us don't have these requirements.
He says the wording is difficult to understand.
I got a feeling that the special interests that put this together, this was a cut and paste job from other codes out there around the country. And so you've got sections of it that conflict with another section because they didn't proof it real well.
Harder believes the purchasing code should include mandatory participation goals for minority and women-owned businesses, but
we've got a lot of projects that could be done here, and we shouldn't be making it harder for developers and people that want to do things for the county in our county. We got to make it easier.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
An annual tradition returns this Thursday. Illinois State Representative Jay Hoffman and State Senator Christopher Belt will give out free turkeys, canned goods, and other items to families. This year, it's not just turkeys being given away. They'll be providing a full Thanksgiving meal, thanks to the generosity of residents who have donated goods. In addition to the main meal, families will receive cans or boxes of green beans, stuffing, gravy, cornbread, and cranberry sauce. This giveaway starts at 10 o'clock. It's this Thursday at the Belleville YMCA on South Illinois Street.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma roast turkey, I concur.
Well, if you are traveling for Thanksgiving, the roads will be busy. AAA's Nick Chabaria tells KMOX the most popular mode of transportation is by car.
And that's not surprising. About 90% of all travelers will take road trips to get to their Thanksgiving destinations. Next popular is air travel, with about 6 million folks taking to the skies for Thanksgiving.
Chabaria says there's another category called other travel, and it includes buses, trains, and cruises, which this year accounts for about 2.5 million travelers nationwide.
However, that is showing the largest increase year over year at about 8.5%, compared to the other modes at about 2% increase from last year.
Chabaria adds cruising has made a huge comeback since the pandemic. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
AAA is forecasting about 6 million people will fly.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, the owner of Arch Apparel is now considering bankruptcy after closing his last physical store. The closure of the Ballpark Village location follows the shutdown of its other stores in Brentwood, West County, and St. Charles. While the owner, Aaron Park, blames low foot traffic for falling sales, public records show sales tax receipts at Ballpark Village are actually up this year compared to 2024. The company also faces an ongoing lawsuit from its former Brentwood landlord over a lease termination fee.
We'll check traffic and weather for you in 2 minutes. We do have rain, and that could be causing some issues this morning. Stay with us here on KMOX.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
We live stream every show on YouTube, Facebook, and X. It looks like X is down at the moment, so that video is not up. Now, if you do see that stream pop up or if X is working for you, let us know, and we'll make sure we get that stream up. X is not working for me at the moment. Henry Barnes says on Facebook, good morning, KMOX. I'm going to try and win those Blues tickets today. He must have been listening closely because we already gave away some, but we're giving away more.
Yeah, we have another pair we're going to give away next hour.
Roger Brands at the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And of course, CBS employees and their families are not eligible, as the old tagline used to say. So, or Odyssey these days, obviously. If you're headed out on the highways, got a couple of trouble spots that are still with us right now, Tom. In fact, I think we've had 2 crashes. The one I'm looking at now is westbound 70, just west of Union. When had one closer to Riverview, and they called one out at Kings Highway. But the end result is we're jammed Shreve through Union. It looks like the left lanes are blocked. Westbound 70 there. Eastbound 44, they're still working that spin-out crash that I believe was in the left lanes just east of Pacific. It looks like they maybe have cleared it to the shoulder now, but there's still a jam on eastbound 44 midway back to Gray Summit. Northbound 55, a little slow. Coming into 67 past Highway A, they cleared the crash at M. North of Merrimack, bottom up through Butler Hill, just kind of slogging along through there right now. And eastbound 64, a little slow down east of Clarkson. Again, we had a crash there that they cleared to the shoulder. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather variable clouders today. There'll be a shower and thunderstorm around through midday, then mainly dry this afternoon. It'll turn warmer with a high of 68. Mostly cloudy tonight, though 49. For tomorrow, plenty of clouds, cooler, the high 59. Thursday, cloudy and cool with on and off rain. There may be a thunderstorm as well, the high 58. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do have some rain in downtown St. Louis, although it's just kind of more of a drizzle at this point, but still some lightning and 53 degrees.
The weather sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance. With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
It is 6:12 and police in Lake St. Louis are investigating 2 explosions that happened Saturday night. Those blasts damaged the front porch of a home off Highway N around 7:30 at night. Investigators found remnants of a homemade explosive device at the scene. Police believe the target was the residence of a Wentzville school district official. 2 17-year-olds are in custody. Police are also questioning another teen and an adult as persons of interest. No one was injured in those explosions.
A wildfire was burning more than 1,000 acres of the Mark Twain National Forest in southwest Missouri. Cody Norris, spokesman for the U.S. Forest Service, tells Missouri Net about Forest Service firefighters who have been trying to put out the flames south of Cassville.
I heard reports that it was multiple starts along a roadway. So that definitely leads me to believe it's human caused. It'll be under investigation to determine whether that was vehicular arson or whatnot.
The fire is now considered 100% contained.
Scrapping the state income tax for Missouri citizens, top priority for Governor Kehoe during this next year's legislative session. He tells a group of reporters any plan he endorses would be responsible.
It doesn't underfund services, government, police departments, or anything, but also lets them keep more of their money in their pocket. And we think anytime Missourians can keep more of their money, it's a good day for them.
The proposal is also expected to gradually phase Missouri's income tax over a few years' time. The move is opposed by the group Missouri Budget Project, which advocates for low-income residents. In a written statement, the Missouri Budget Project says eliminating the state's income tax would wipe out more than 60% of state revenues and require massive cuts to public services. The 2026 Missouri legislative session starts January 7th.
Also in the news, the top 50 major markets. In those, it's about 40% cheaper to rent than to buy a home. What about in the Midwest?
St. Louis is a great example where you see that the gap there is much more modest. It is still cheaper to rent than to buy there, but the gap there is a lot smaller.
Bankrate data analyst Alex Gailey says a big consideration in buying a home is how long you intend to stay. Less than 5 years to 7 years might not be worth it.
Hey, recent renovations have helped St. Louis land major sporting events due to the publicly funded renovations of Enterprise Center. That's according to the president of the St. Louis Sports Commission, Mark Schreiber. He's now making a public plea asking the city to put more money toward further sports-related renovations.
Maybe the new entertainment district downtown, that may be one source. I would love if just a small piece of the Rams settlement dollars could somehow be allocated to a bid fund that we could tap into.
He says other cities St. Louis competes with to attract these events are far more aggressive with their public financial resources.
NCAA tournament coming to St. Louis. First and second round of the basketball tournament in March. Enterprise Center will be the home of that. Mizzou, maybe they're good enough to be playing at home during the tournament at that time. They beat Prairie View A&M last night, 91-73 to go to 5-0. Number 23, Wisconsin, knocked off SIUE, 94-69. Southern Illinois lost at North Dakota State, 92-85. The men's soccer team at SLU is hosting an NCAA tournament game Thursday. They'll be playing Kentucky in the first round. Didn't get that bye that they wanted, but they'll play Kentucky at home, and then the winner of that plays at Indiana on Sunday. The number 6 seeded Hoosiers, as the men's soccer tournament will also include Lindenwood. They're playing at Kansas City on Thursday. This is the first ever NCAA tournament for Lindenwood. SLU has been in 52 NCAA tournaments in their history. That is an NCAA record. Also playing in the postseason, WashU's men's and women's teams, they've advanced to the Division III Sweet 16. Maryville and McKendree, both men's and women's soccer teams, are in the D2 tournament, and UMSL's women's team is as well. Taking a look at college football, the college football playoff rankings will come out tonight. It's expected that Ohio State will remain number 1, but it's anyone's guess after that. Indiana likely to stay at 2, Texas A&M likely to stay at 3, but then you have Georgia at 4, and who knows after that. Those would be the top 4 seeds if the season ended today, but clearly it does not. In Monday Night Football, it was Dallas over Vegas. The Cowboys saw their quarterback, Dak Prescott, throw 4 touchdown passes, and the Cowboys knocked off the Raiders by a final of 33-16. The Blues play tonight in Toronto. They visit the Maple Leafs, 6 o'clock face-off for them. The Blues struggling right now. They've just lost a game 4-1 in which they were outshot 15-0 in almost a period's time. Between the first and second period, 18 minutes and 36 seconds expired, in which the Blues didn't have a shot on goal. Vegas had 15 of them and scored 3 goals, and the Blues were booed off the ice after losing that one 4-1. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are discussing breast cancer with Dr. Debbie Bennett with Washington University School of Medicine and Siteman Cancer Center. Mammograms, when should people get them? How often should they get them?
People should start getting mammograms at least by age 40. If you don't have a significant family history of breast cancer, then we recommend that you start at 40, and we recommend that you get them every year to give yourself the best chance of finding a breast cancer as early as possible.
What would you say to someone who is nervous to get their mammogram?
Well, that would be everybody. So what I would tell them is that they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it for their families, for their kids. The reason we do mammograms is, as I said, to find cancers as early as possible. If we can find them as early as possible, they're very treatable.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Now the news at 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:20. Thanks for tuning in to Total Information AM for this Tuesday, November 18th. Still a little bit of rain falling in downtown St. Louis. We'll get you the updated forecast here in just a second. First, let's check the roadways. In the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center, it is Roger Brand.
Got some issues out there with the rain, obviously. It's traffic reports the service of Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing. They're still working this injury crash in the left lane. I think it was another car to the median wall kind of a situation. Westbound 70, west of Union, traffic is jammed back to West Florissant because of it. We had that earlier crash, eastbound 44 east of Pacific. They cleared it, so the delays have thinned out between Gray Summit and Pacific, so that looks good now. Northbound 55, they also cleared that crash north of M. The traffic is slow, though, north of Merrimack Bottom up to 270, primarily the right lanes. And from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear, it's heavy. Eastbound 64 is still a little slow. Passing Clarkson, again, we had a crash cleared to the shoulder just east of there. And North 270 sort of slow in the work zone at Ladue. The Illinois side, eastbound 64 backs up east of 50 through Greenmount, and westbound 64, a short jam through 158. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broken, it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly because they're open till 8, jerrykelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on, Jerry Kelly.
Whether it is raining, and it is going to be raining for the foreseeable future, shower and thunderstorm around through midday, says AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg. We're going to get a high of 68 today. After this comes through, it'll become warmer. We'll get mostly cloudy sky tonight, low 49, and then tomorrow, cloudiness and cooler with a high of 59 degrees. We do have rain currently and 53 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:22. The House is scheduling a vote on a resolution that would compel the Justice Department to release all of its files dealing with the late sexual predator Jeffrey Epstein. And President Trump now says he's ready to sign it.
I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that.
Trump's sudden support has spurred more House Republicans to say they will support the measure. For the moment, that may or may not include House Speaker Mike Johnson.
He's never had anything to hide. He and I had the same concern that we're going to ensure that victims of these heinous crimes are completely protected from disclosure, those who don't want their names to be out here.
Now Trump's turnaround has inspired some Senate Republicans to say they will vote yes. Alabama's Tommy Tuberville says he's a yes just to shut up Democrats. And about those Democrats,
the House will act decisively, the Senate needs to act, and Donald Trump just needs to step out of the way and let the chips fall where they may.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries also said he's not concerned about who's in those files, including prominent Democrats. And one Democrat whose name is in the papers released last week is feeling the heat. That's former Harvard president and Treasury Secretary and influential economist Larry Summers. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren told CNN she wants Harvard to cut all ties with Summers. And as for a top Republican who's been cut off by President Trump, Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene says the threats on her have ramped up since Trump's online attacks. On her X page, she said that her construction companies received a bomb threat. She added that Trump's attacks were a dog whistle to dangerous radicals that could lead to a serious attack. And back at the White House, Trump may already be setting the table for some to be disappointed, recalling his release of files about the assassinations of 2 historic Americans.
Not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. You know, with Kennedy, we gave everything and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything and it's never enough.
I'm Richard Johnson.
The number of people detained has surpassed 130 in Charlotte, North Carolina, after the Border Patrol's Operation Charlotte's Web was started. The name chosen for the immigration raid has angered the granddaughter of E.B. White, the author of the children's book, Charlotte's Web.
Now, North Carolina's governor is weighing in on federal immigration activities in Charlotte. Correspondent Ed Donahue reports that the Latino population in the Tar Heel State's largest city is on edge, but DHS is saying that all of those arrested have either criminal records or are in the country illegally or both.
North Carolina Governor Josh Stein is responding to the start of President Trump's surge in Border Patrol activity in Charlotte.
This is not making us safer. It's stoking fear and dividing our community.
The Trump administration has made the Democratic city its latest focus for an immigration enforcement surge it says will combat crime. Stein says he is not against federal help.
To the CBP, if you know that we have violent criminals in Charlotte who are undocumented, we want them out too.
But he says their actions are the opposite.
We've seen masked, heavily armed agents and paramilitary garb driving unmarked cars, targeting American citizens based on their skin color, racially profiling and picking up random people in parking lots and off of our sidewalks, going after landscapers simply decorating a Christmas tree in someone's front yard.
Stein called on the people in Charlotte to stay peaceful. I'm Ed Donahue.
In the news this morning, the United States now has thousands of troops available in the Caribbean as tensions continue with Venezuela. CBS News national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata with the story from Puerto Rico.
U.S. forces have been conducting military exercises in the Caribbean for weeks. And now the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's most advanced aircraft carrier, is within striking distance of Venezuela. Sunday's arrival of the Ford comes as the administration moved to designate the Cartel de los Soles, which the U.S. claims is headed by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, a terrorist organization. That, President Trump said, could permit targeting Venezuelan assets and infrastructure.
The United States has been conducting military strikes on vessels in international waters that the administration says were involved with illegal drug activities. However, they have not provided any evidence to support their claims.
Saudi Arabia's crown prince is scheduled to visit President Trump today.
President Trump has said that he wants Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords, and this week he's touting the relationship between his administration and Saudi leaders. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman slated to meet with the president in D.C., and according to Trump, the U.S. will sell F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia.
They've got to like us very much. Look at the Iran situation, what we did in terms of obliterating, we obliterated their nuclear capability. Yeah, I will say that we will be doing that. We'll be selling F-35s.
There's speculation surrounding the U.S.-Saudi relationship from leaders in Israel, but President Trump is hopeful that the kingdom could formally recognize Israel. The Crown Prince's visit to the White House will mark his first trip to D.C. in 7 years. It's scheduled to include a bilateral meeting in the Oval Office and a black tie dinner. I'm Clayton Neville.
It's 6:28. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
In the last 20 years or so, have you all had buy a replacement refrigerator, washer, dryer, dishwasher after 20 years, 25 years, and then replace with a new one in the last year, like 1 or 2 or 3 years? I have. I had a refrigerator 9 years old, so I asked the appliance tech, do I need to get to real high-end stuff? And his response to me was, there's no difference in the very expensive stuff and to what you have right here. The only difference is they make them look different, and they all break the same way. The only difference being the high-end parts are extremely expensive. So if you need a furnace or an air conditioner or both, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh.
Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. For 43 days, the left kept the government closed, holding the American people hostage and demanding radical policy changes, including free health care for illegal immigrants. However, thanks to strong Republican leadership, the Senate voted to reopen the government and put America first. I'm thrilled to return to Washington so I can continue to vote to help Missourians, to secure our nation's borders, and to cut wasteful spending. Visit onder.house.gov to find the office closest to you.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
It is 6:30 and we need to get you a check of the roadways and the weather as well. Looks like it stopped raining for now in downtown St. Louis, but I know the rain has caused a few issues out there. Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, they're still working one of them right now, Debbie. It's westbound Highway 70, west of Union. Left lane still blocked from an earlier crash where a car hit the median wall, so you're jammed back to about West Florissant on westbound Highway 70. Out to the west, southbound 61, there's volume from Highway P down onto 64 or 70, but once you get there, you're good to go across the Missouri River bridges. On northbound 270, bogs down as you ramp on from 55 through Gravois, north of Big Bend up to Manchester. After that, not so bad. Northbound 55 itself, you've got slow traffic in the right lane south of Butler Hill up to 270, all lanes from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. Downtown westbound 64, a couple of slow spots from Baugh Avenue headed to the Poplar. Not a jam, though, but we do have a backup eastbound on 64, 50 through Greenmount, and then it's slow from there most of the way into 158. Northbound 67 at Timber Creek Resort, report of a car that hit the median wall there as well. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, we've gotten through the rain. It has passed us here in downtown St. Louis and most of the listening area. Some heavy rain right now in Troy, Missouri, and up in Godfrey, Illinois. Otherwise, you're pretty much good to go. Festus seeing a little bit of rain right now and down in Potosi. Otherwise, we're clear, and it looks like we're going to get warmer today with a high of 68 degrees. Mostly cloudy, low 49 tonight. Cloudy, cooler tomorrow with a high of just 59. It's 51 degrees right now.
More than a year after St. Louis City voters elected him, Sheriff Alfred Montgomery could lose his job permanently. The quo warranto to remove him from office will be tried today. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway seeking to remove him from office and says her team is prepared if Montgomery decides to testify.
He has a pretty strong personality and may just want to testify. If he does, we'll be ready.
Montgomery is facing 5 counts. And if he's found guilty on just one of them, he will be removed from office.
A Vandalia, Illinois man is facing first-degree murder and criminal sexual assault charges in the death of a 14-year-old girl he knew. 43-year-old Arnold Rivera was charged by the Fayette County State's attorney. The victim, 14-year-old Kylie Toberman, was found dead in a Vandalia home on November 14th. Illinois State Police say Rivera was arrested just hours later and is in custody pending trial.
When it comes to deaths of infants and mothers, Missouri is still among the worst states in the country. And according to a new report from the March of Dimes, Medicaid cuts in President Trump's budget bill could make it worse. Dr. Michael Warren, the March of Dimes chief medical officer, says almost 40% of births in the Show Me state are covered by Medicaid. So cuts to the program and the closure of rural hospitals has the potential to make health outcomes much worse. Missouri gets a D on its preterm birth rate report card.
A movie filmed extensively in St. Louis has made $7.3 million so far. Soul on Fire tells the true story of John O'Leary, a St. Louis native who survived burns over 100% of his body and went on to inspire millions. Stacy Nation, originally from Wellsville, a small town in Montgomery County in east central Missouri, worked as second unit script supervisor on the movie and says some of the scenes were filmed in Jefferson City.
We traveled and shot at the old prison there. We had, no electricity. We had to bring in all of our lights. There was no, heating when we were working that day. So those were some, I would say, more logistical challenges.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It is 6:34.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the Dave Glover Show. So, what is my show? My show is 4 different people living 4 different lives, all coming together every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. to talk about life, actual life, not so much headlines or did you see what Trump did today or XYZ. Never predictable because I never know what I'm going to talk about from one segment to the next. So it truly is unique and unpredictable. Join us.
104.1 FM, KMOX.
I dared Archwell Health to keep track of my vitals and my grandkids' names.
I dared Archwell Health to simplify my prescriptions, so Max and I have more time to play. Good boy.
And I dared Archwell Health to be closer than my neighborhood coffee shop. Our members dared us to do more as a primary care provider for adults age 60 and up. So we made it our mission. Visit archwellhealth.com and become a member today. Archwell Health, we dare to care.
Chesterfield Valley Nursery invites you to make your own live holiday decor this year in our Winter Planter class happening on November 22nd. Sign up today on our website or Facebook. Learn how to put together a live evergreen porch planter. Registration required. Spots fill up fast. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com. That's November 22nd. ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com to register.
It is 6:36. This is Total Information AM, and time for us to get you your money report, which is sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Fewer U.S. travelers are set to fly over the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday later this month, with Christmas demand also looking shaky. This according to data released by Cirium, an aviation analytics firm. Bookings are now down 3.3% compared with a year ago. The record U.S. government shutdown and concerns about the economy are weighing on would-be flyers. More evidence the job market is getting worse. Notices of impending mass layoffs by U.S. companies surged in October to among the highest levels on record. Some 39,000 Americans were given advance notice as required under the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act. And Bitcoin in a free fall, and traders are positioning for more pain. The world's largest cryptocurrency plunged below $90,000 during Asian trading. That's deepening a sell-off that's erased all of its gains for the year. Right now, futures indicate a lower open on Wall Street. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey, let's talk for a moment about your home. If you have thought about selling your home and you're wondering if now is the right time, if the market is okay, or maybe you have to move, you've gotten a new job, you're moving out of state. It's a very complicated thing, but you can make it so much easier for yourself by having the right agent. That would be Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, because Gloria and her team can take care of all of the details if you can't be there. If you are selling a home and you're buying another one, they can help you with all of that as well. And the thing with Gloria is she doesn't just sell a few homes a year or a few dozen. She sells hundreds of homes a year, and she guarantees in writing that she'll sell yours. So that puts your mind at ease right there. Whether you want to maybe get an instant cash offer, Gloria can give you several to choose from. Or if you are putting your home on the market, she guarantees to sell your home for 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. So many ways that Gloria can sell your home quickly and for top dollar. She guarantees it. Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, Gloria Liu. Give her a call at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from? Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Discover the life you want at Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We deliver a life-enhancing environment that nourishes the mind, body, and spirit as residents lean into joy and embrace purpose in a new age of senior living. Simply put, we have your back so you can put your best foot forward. Join us Wednesday, December 3rd for our holiday craft fair, followed by happy hour with BB Boomers. Visit Fairwinds River's Edge on Facebook to learn more.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Friday night, it's men's Billikens basketball as they face Purdue Fort Wayne. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Let's see how the roads look at 640. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got our crash on 70 downtown, Tom. This traffic reports the service of the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. It's in the left lanes west of Union, so westbound 70 is jammed right at the Broadway exit there before you get to West Florissant as you come out of the city. Southbound 61, a brief backup through Highway P. Slow down to about Wentzville Parkway. If you're on northbound 270, bogged down as you ramp on from 55 to Gravois. Big Bend up to Manchester, 64 up through Ladue. South 270, Olive to Ladue is slow. Northbound 55, the right lane's bogged down north of Merrimack Bottom up to 270. Union Road overpass all the way up through Virginia. There's some rain slow traffic there. The rain slowed downtown as well. Westbound 64 at Baugh, 5570 at Exchange. Heavy pockets to the Poplar, and eastbound 64, a couple of jams from 50 past Greenmount. Times are always changing, but Penn Mutual stands the test of time. The 178-year Young Mutual Company is leading the way in life insurance. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Let's check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. The sky is brightening up, and it looks like for now the rain has stopped, at least in downtown St. Louis, Joe.
It has indeed, Debbie. There's still some thunderstorms northwest of the city, up to really from Warrenton to just north of O'Fallon, headed toward Jerseyville. That's the direction of moving east-northeast. And they're moving at a pretty good pace. From the city west-southwestward, it's dry right now. There may be one more pop-up shower or thunderstorm between now and lunchtime, but a good bit of the time rain-free. And the afternoon does look dry. We warmed to 68 today with clouds and breaks of sun, but then the clouds come rolling right back in from the north tonight, the low 49. We keep the clouds tomorrow. No rain, but it's not going to be as warm. The high only 59. Looks like the next disturbance moves through with rain at times on Thursday. We're kind of on the northern edge of it, but there's still enough concern for a thunderstorm. We got to throw that into the forecast as well. The high 58. One more system goes through Friday with periods of rain and a high 57. Finally, some drier weather. We're going to return to some sunshine on Saturday, though it'll be cool. The high 56. Right now it's 54 at St. Peter's and in Florissant. Cloudy, 56 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. It's 6:43. Sports coming up in just 2 minutes. Tom Cruise just received one of Hollywood's highest honors, an Academy Honorary Award at the 2025 Governors Awards. The star got emotional speaking about the power of movies to bring people together. Cruise, a four-time Oscar nominee, said he is currently working on a new film.
And no matter where we come from, in that theater, we laugh together, we feel together, we hope together, we dream together. And that is the power of this art form. And that's why it matters. That is why it matters to me. So making films is not what I do, it is who I am.
The night also honored Dolly Parton, Debbie Allen, and Wynn Thomas. And yes, Tom was spotted on the dance floor celebrating. We're told the Oscars air March 15th and will be hosted by Conan O'Brien.
Kim Kardashian opening up about the emotional toll of trying to become a lawyer. In new footage, Kim breaks down while studying for the California bar exam, saying the pressure was so intense she considered quitting.
Every time I feel like I'm a step ahead, something happens to try to stop me from doing this. A part of me just wants to stop. I just feel like my brain's going to explode.
Kim did not pass the bar exam her first round, but says she's more determined than ever to reach her goal.
Because I'm happy. Pharrell Williams just received the key to Miami-Dade County. The Grammy winner was honored at the Black Ambition Demo Day for his work supporting young entrepreneurs and helping close the wealth gap. Said the program exists to make sure talent doesn't get overlooked, adding that keys are supposed to open doors. And that's exactly what they plan to keep on doing. 6:45. Let's get some motivation for the St. Louis Blues. They take on the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, and there was a point of emphasis in practice on that very topic. Coach Jim Montgomery speaking to the media before heading to Toronto.
Point of emphasis has been we need to communicate more. If there's any doubt in their minds, we got to eliminate any doubt. I hate having any gray area, and lately it's been looking like there's been a lot of gray area to our game.
That is Blues coach Jim Montgomery. After practice yesterday, they are in Toronto tonight for a 6 o'clock face-off. The Blues with two very difficult back-to-back losses at home, falling to the Flyers, in which they blew two two-goal leads, and then Vegas, in which they were dominated 4-1 on Saturday night. College basketball, Missouri looking tough these days. They're 5-0. They beat Prairie View A&M yesterday, 91-73, and with that victory, they go to 5-0 on the season. SIUE fell at number 23 Wisconsin, 94-69. Southern Illinois lost at North Dakota State, 92-85. On the schedule today, Southeast Missouri State visiting Iowa. College soccer, they're celebrating at St. Louis University. They're going to get a home game on Thursday night at 7 against Kentucky. Granted, the A-10 champions wanted a first-round bye, but ultimately they weren't ranked high enough to achieve that honor, so they will have a first-round game against Kentucky. Winner gets Indiana on Sunday. The Hoosiers did get a first-round bye. Lindenwood also makes the Division I NCAA tournament, and they do it for the first time. The OVC tournament champions will play Kansas City on Thursday in the first round. In the NFL, it was the Cowboys winning last night over the Raiders. 4 touchdown passes for Dak Prescott as the Cowboys win it 33-16 in Vegas. College football playoff rankings come out tonight. Indiana is currently number 2 behind number 1 Ohio State, and then some SEC teams in the AP top 25 looming behind them. Texas A&M at 3 and the resurgent Georgia Bulldogs at 4. James Franklin, who was fired by Penn State, previous number 2 in the country, mid-season firing, he lands at Virginia Tech, it was announced yesterday. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Purina presents A Century of Service.
This is KMOX Radio.
KMOX is celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining St. Louis. On November 20th, KMOX Day, we will celebrate the KMOX pioneers.
This is Jim White for your information.
Legendary voices.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Groundbreaking programming.
KMOX Radio. We're at your service.
And unforgettable moments that have defined a century of broadcasting.
We did locate Ben this afternoon, and we've also located Sean Harnbeck.
Hear from current and former KMOX personalities who have helped make this station the preeminent news, information, and sports brand in America. A century of service, celebrating 100 years of KMOX, is presented by Purina, your pet, our passion, on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Attention business owners with a net income over $500,000. You need to work with a tax strategist that understands your entrepreneurial mindset. Download the most recent white paper written by E3 Consultants Group titled The power of a professional tax strategy team. Go to e3wealth.com/radio to obtain a copy. It's time to learn about wealth and tax strategies that protect your personal and business economy. E3 is ready to help you think differently about your finances. Educate, empower, enlighten. That's the E3 difference.
Hey guys, Dave and Rach here for our good friends at Smart Mouth. So it is unique by the very definition of the word. It's the only mouth rinse out there with 2 chemicals that combine to prevent bad breath for 24 hours a day with just 2 rinses a day.
Never have bad breath again. You can find Smart Mouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walgreens, Walmart, and Amazon. Visit smartmouth.com to snag a special discount on your next Smart Mouth purchase. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Coming up on 650, Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, it looks like they may have just cleared the crash downtown on Highway 70. This traffic reports service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. It was westbound 70 west of Union. It's sort of misty, hazy. Not saying it's raining, but hard to see, but I don't see the flashing lights any longer. So I think the crash is cleared. We do still have a jam, though, back through Adelaide on westbound 70, and eastbound 70 coming in from the city limits is a little slow there. In fact, eastbound 70 is also slow from Highway A to Bryan Road and east of the Blanchette Bridge into Highway 270. Southbound 61, Wentworth Parkway into 64. The Boulevard's busy. After that, it looks okay. If you're on South 270, Olive down to 64, slow. North 270 backs up as you ramp on from 55. It's heavy to Gravois. North of 44 up to Manchester. Then there's a couple of pockets up to Ladue. Northbound 55, the right lane's now north of Butler Hill. All lanes Bayless up to River to Pear and Loughborough through Virginia, a little busy. Westbound 64 heavy Baugh to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 jam 50 past Greenmount. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
We are going to have a cloudy day today. Shower and thunderstorm chances hanging around through midday. It's going to be 68 degrees. Tomorrow, just cloudy and cooler with a high of 59. And then we do have more rain in the forecast Thursday, Friday, and possibly Saturday. It's 53 right now.
While there is a sharp drop in the number of Americans who say religion is important in their lives, there is one denomination that has seen significant growth. CBS Evening News anchor Maurice Dubois visited a church in Afton for today's Eye on America.
At Rooftop Church, just outside St. Louis, it's not collars and frocks, it's hats and jeans.
Good morning. Welcome to Rooftop. My name is Matt.
Head pastor Matt Herndon sets the tone on Sundays.
When a lot of people come in, they do notice some things that maybe they wouldn't see at other churches. Oh, that's strange. He's wearing a hat. Oh, we just watched a video clip from Beauty and the Beast. We really do want to engage with people in a way that they can understand and lean into.
The traditional churches will not.
Sure. Yeah.
Rooftop is one of an estimated 44,000 non-denominational Christian churches in the U.S., meaning its teachings are rooted in the Bible, but it's an independent house of worship.
How should we welcome God into our lives like Abraham does?
What Herndon launched in a community center nearly 25 years ago now attracts as many as 600 people to its seats in any given week.
Non-denominational is actually the strongest force in American Christianity right now.
Washington University professor Ryan Burge calls this kind of growth the rise of the non-denoms.
They really talk about a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Many of them preach a conservative gospel on things like abortion, same-sex marriage, but they don't lead with those things.
In 1972, fewer than 3% of Americans identified as non-denominational Christians. Now it's 14%, 40 million people.
There's a real chance in 15 years there'll be more non-denominationals in America than there will be Roman Catholics. It might be the largest religious tradition in America.
Why do you think that is?
I think we're moving away from authority structure.
Okay, that's great.
That looser structure is what attracts Rooftop members Anna and Nathan King, who grew up attending traditional Christian churches.
Here at Rooftop, I think we focus on thinking critically about those traditions and challenging each other, but not letting it divide us.
I love how casual it is. It's really cool that we could be in the pews and one of our elders or pastors is right in the pew next to us.
Take you at your word. Herndon calls this big tent Christianity. He uses video and pop culture.
The prince sneered at the gift.
While focusing on what he sees as the fundamentals of the Bible without taking a hard line.
What do you say to people who look at this and say, this is Christianity light?
I emphatically disagree. In Genesis 18, the Lord shows up at their door. We dig really deep into scripture. We just try to figure out, what does this mean for people?
Is that the future of Christianity in America?
Well, I happen not to be a prophet.
But you've seen the last quarter century.
Yeah. Some denominations, more traditional denominations, I think they've realized we don't have much of a future unless we try to figure out how to reconnect with people.
Maurice Dubois, CBS News.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
It is 6:54. Tom and I just discussing somebody should do a study on why some days we have boatloads of birthdays, celebrity and local celebrity, and other days there just are very few.
Yeah,
some days no one's born on certain days.
There are some sports ones. I mean, one that caught my eye was David Ortiz. Big Papi is 50. And if the Cardinals had decided not to pitch to him, maybe that World Series in 2013 would have been different. But anyway. Please continue.
If you have a birthday or anniversary you'd like announced during our birthday segment, just email it to totalam@kmox.com, totalam@kmox.com. The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes to Kathy Loyett of O'Fallon from yesterday's kids.
This is the best birthday ever.
Missouri, the wait is almost over. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, going live December 1st. But you don't have to wait until then to sign up, because if you join today, you'll get an early sign-up bonus. You can get started with $400 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From live betting to same-game parlays, FanDuel is the best place to bet on all your favorite teams, sports, and players. FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Play your game with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Early sign-up $100 offer. Bonus bets expire 30 days after FanDuel accepts its first real money sports wager in Missouri. Unique user identity verification required. Post-launch $300 offer. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Hi, I'm Amy Markscores. The Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign provides critical social services to over 150,000 St. Louisans in need annually, and you can help. Have just 2 hours? A short volunteer shift as a bell ringer can raise enough money to feed a family of 4 for a week. Support neighbors in need and help the Salvation Army deliver on its promise of doing the most good right here in St. Louis. When you give with joy, you help transform lives. Visit registertoring.com.
You know that expression, put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing, then an explosive takeoff. It makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. And speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Just step in, and instantly your shoes are on. No bending down and no touching. Try Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Get ready for Thursday Night Football as the Bills face the Texans.
Sankman Cancer Center game time 6:30. Sankman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The Bills, the Texans, on America's Sports Voice, 104.1 FM KMOX.
658, Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got a bit of a jam downtown, Tom. Westbound Highway 70, let's call it between Grand and Adelaide, around the bend past O'Fallon Park. By the time you get to West Florissant, it opens up. It's just a little busy at Jennings Station. Eastbound Highway 70, still some volume into Bryan Road at a couple of spots, and a little busy from the Blanche into Earth City. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway into 64 is slow up to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. If you're on northbound 270, still busy as you ramp on from 55 to Gravois, Big Bend up to Manchester, Clayton Road up to Ladue, northbound 55, the right lane's slow at Butler Hill. Bayless to Virginia, westbound 64, Ball Avenue to the Poplars heavy, eastbound 64, 50 through Greenmount toward 158 is slow. Next update is 710 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Tuesday, November 18th. I'm Debbie Monterey. The House may vote today to force the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files.
I'm Sean Malone. St. Louis City Sheriff Alfred Montgomery will stand trial today in a case that could result in him being permanently removed from office.
He can't do his job if he's sitting in a jail cell.
I've got that story coming up.
How St. Louis County acquires all its goods, services, and construction projects could be facing some big changes.
The bill itself, in my opinion, is a mess the way it's written.
This is Stuart McMillan, and I'll tell you about the bill's final vote today.
Whether staying at home for Thanksgiving or hitting the roads, AAA says you'll have a lot of company. I'm Maria Kina. I'll explain.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Clouds, breaks of sunshine, and warmer today with a shower and thunderstorm around through midday at the high 68.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The House is set to vote today on releasing the full Epstein files. Bill co-sponsor, Congressman Ro Khanna, a Democrat from California, tells CBS Mornings.
Some of these people still are on corporate boards. They still have scholarships named after them. They have buildings named after them. And the American people are going to be shocked.
CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
In a stark reversal, President Trump says he will sign a bill to release the Department of Justice's Epstein files if the bill lands on his desk.
Let the Senate look at it. Let anybody look at it. But don't talk about it too much.
Trump, who has frequently dismissed the Epstein controversy as a Democratic hoax, was lobbying Republicans to block the vote, but changed his tune Sunday night and urged House Republicans in a post to support the measure because they have, quote, nothing to hide, and it's time to move on.
President Trump will host Saudi Arabia's crown prince at the White House today. CBS's Michael Wallace says it comes as
the president plans to sell 48 jets to the Saudis.
They've been a great ally. They've got to like us very much.
During a meeting at the White House today, Trump and Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman will discuss the jet deal and a potential mutual defense agreement.
The Trump administration is suing California over a new law that bans federal agents from concealing their identities. CBS's Nydia Cavazos in Los Angeles.
The Trump administration is saying that California is discriminating against its federal agents, and they will also not be complying with this new California law.
An Indiana homeowner has been charged with involuntary manslaughter in the shooting death of a house cleaner who showed up at the wrong door. CBS News legal analyst Caroline Polisi.
The hurdle for the defense will undoubtedly be that they will have to convince the jury that it was reasonable in this circumstance for the defendant to shoot a gun through a closed door.
Kurt Anderson could face up to 10 to 30 years in prison if convicted. Home Depot's third quarter was mixed, and the company has lowered its fiscal 2025 adjusted earnings forecast. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger explains why.
The stagnant housing market has really limited the number of projects that people are taking on. And also, for those who want to do home improvements, they may be worried about the cost of those home improvements, so they're delaying them.
However, Home Depot has raised its sales growth outlook. Nearly half of U.S. adults are worried they won't be able to afford necessary health care in the coming year. That's the highest level of concern recorded since West Health and Gallup began tracking in 2021. Also, the share of Americans reporting that they or someone in their household were not able to pay for prescription medications in the past 3 months has reached a record high of 1 in 5 Americans. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
It is 7:04, and right now we've got cloudy skies. It's 54 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Happening today, St. Louis City Sheriff Alfred Montgomery will exit federal custody and sit in court to determine if he should lose his job permanently.
The Quo Warranto accuses Montgomery of having the deputy commissioner of the jail illegally detained, refusing his duty to transport detainees in need of medical care, and having deputies transport his children to and from school. He also faces a new count, with Attorney General Catherine Hanaway arguing his federal detention is grounds for permanent removal.
Just says he can't do his job if he's sitting in a jail cell hundreds of miles away. And so we think that that is the development that kind of moved the judge to make his status as sheriff temporary, and we hope that after the trial it'll be permanent.
The final count against Montgomery argues he abused the finances of the department, sending it way over budget. If Montgomery is found guilty on at least one of those 5 counts, he will be removed from office. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The open-ended unfair labor practice strike continues at Starbucks locations in 40 cities today, including in St. Louis. You'll see picketers outside the location on Hampton Avenue, just south of Forest Park. Barista Daci Spoltori explains why they're doing this.
We want better hours so stores are properly staffed and workers can qualify for the benefits Starbucks brags about. We want more take-home pay because our healthcare, our rent, our groceries, they keep getting more and more expensive.
The union Starbucks Workers United says the company is not negotiating with employees who have voted to organize.
A bill to modernize St. Louis County's purchasing regulations is up for a final vote today.
This is Stuart McMillan.
I'm against it, and I'm rallying my colleagues to be against it as well.
Republican Councilman Mark Harder believes the St. Louis County Purchasing Code needs some updating, but wants to put the brakes in the current proposal.
It's going to put extra burden and bureaucracy on all of our projects. It will also, the way I read it, it will also limit the number of people that can even bid for our county jobs because of the requirements that are put on bidders to even qualify.
The proposed bill would repeal and replace the existing purchasing rules for all county contracting, competitive processes, ethical conduct, mandatory requirements for minority women-owned businesses, and prevailing wages.
Millions of people will be joining you, whether you're traveling by train, plane, or automobile. AAA says 82 million will be on the roads.
And Nick Jabaria tells KMOX cruises have had a resurgence since the pandemic.
We know that cruising has been very popular. And again, this is that segment of Thanksgiving travelers that maybe are taking the alternative approach and using the long weekend to take a vacation or a trip versus going to visit family and friends.
But if you're more of a traditionalist, then there's another mode of transportation that seems to be making a comeback.
Trains have becoming increasingly popular as well for their flexibility.
And Jabaria says when you go by train, you do not have to arrive as early at the train station as you would if you were flying.
Right now, my mom's there in the kitchen.
Getting you home faster. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
From the business desk sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, a popular holiday tradition returning Thursday in Belleville. State Representative Jay Hoffman and State Senator Christopher Belt teaming up to hand out free Thanksgiving meals. But this year, they're not just giving away turkeys. Thanks to generous local donations, families will receive a full holiday spread. That includes turkey plus all the sides, canned green bean stuffing, gravy, cornbread, and cranberry sauce. The giveaway starts at 10 Thursday morning at the Belleville YMCA on South Illinois.
Wildfires in southern Missouri are now contained. We'll have an update after traffic and weather. It's 7:08.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
What's up, Missouri? Tony Gonzalez here. I've spent a lot of Sundays right here playing in front of the best fans in football. And now it's almost your turn to get in the game because DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Show Me State on December 1st. Soon you'll get fast payouts when you win, a safe and secure app that's easy to use, and promos that keep the action going all season long. It's America's top-rated sportsbook app. New customers can sign up right now and score $300 in bonus bets on launch day, December 1st.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KMOX. New Missouri customers, sign up today and score $300 in bonus bets once we're live. That's code KMOX. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation or the website bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
710, Roger Brand, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we still have traffic unwinding coming out of the city from that earlier crash we had at Union. It's heavy now on westbound Highway 70 from Kings Highway running out through about Jennings Station. Eastbound 70 is looking a lot better. It's just a little busy approaching TR Hughes. That's not bad. Have a new crash on southbound 170 at the Woodson Overpass south of Page. Traffic's jammed at Midland Lane blockage there, but once you clear that, you're good down to 64. Westbound 64 is heavy. Hampton headed out through Hanley. If you're on eastbound 64, there's slow traffic as you come off 61, so the delays start at Highway P onto 64 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard, but after that, it's wide open all the way to the Interbelt. South 270, Olive to 64 slow. North 270, 55, most of the way up through to Ladue is just busy the whole way through. Northbound 55, a little heavy into 67. The right lane slow at Butler Hill. From Bayless up to River to Pears, slow. 64 downtown. Ball Avenue across the Poplar, a lot of heavy traffic. And on eastbound 64, east of 50 through almost to 158 heavy in the work zone. Next update at 720 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Clouds and some sun at times today. There'll also be a shower and thunderstorm or two around through midday, then mainly dry this afternoon. It'll turn briefly warmer with a high of 68. Mostly cloudy tonight, though 49. Plenty of clouds, cooler tomorrow, high 59. It'll be cloudy and cool Thursday with rain at times, maybe a thunderstorm as well, the high 58. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, we've got partly cloudy skies and 54 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
It's 7:12. A Vandalia, Illinois man is facing first-degree murder and criminal sexual assault charges in the death of a 14-year-old girl he knew. 43-year-old Arnold Rivera was charged by the Fayette County State's Attorney. The victim, 14-year-old Kylie Toberman, was found dead in a Vandalia home on November 14th. Illinois State Police say Rivera was arrested just hours later and is in custody pending trial.
Police in Lake St. Louis are investigating two explosions that happened Saturday night around 7:30 that damaged the front porch of a home off Highway N. Investigators found remnants of homemade explosive devices at the scene. Police believe the target was the residence of a Wentzville school district official. Two 17-year-olds are in custody, and police are also questioning another teen and an adult as persons of interest. No one was injured in those explosions.
Part of a Mark Twain National Forest in southwest Missouri has been on fire. Cody Norris, a U.S. Forest Service spokesman, tells Missouri Net about 30 U.S. Forest Service firefighters were working to put out the flames along hundreds of acres in the Cassville area.
It's not anywhere near a big city. It's actually a little bit south, or just south of Roaring River State Park. This is all on National Forest Service land, and there's no structures at risk at this point.
The fire is now 100% contained.
The owner of Arch Apparel is now considering bankruptcy after closing his last brick and mortar store. The closure of the Ballpark Village location follows the shutdown of its other stores in Brentwood, West County, and St. Charles. While the owner blames low foot traffic for falling sales, public records show sales tax receipts at Ballpark Village are actually up this year compared to 2024. The company, Arch Apparel, also facing an ongoing lawsuit from its former Brentwood landlord over a lease termination fee.
An update on the recent movie filmed across St. Louis, Soul on Fire, has made $7.3 million at the box office. Tells the true story of John O'Leary, a St. Louis native who survived burns over his entire body and went on to inspire millions. Stacey Nation, originally from eastern Missouri's Wellsville, worked as second unit script supervisor and tells Missouri Net the motion media tax credit helps.
I moved away, to LA because I wanted to make movies. And having a tax credit in Missouri, it means I can come and work at home. I feel like I've followed my full hero's journey. In a movie, you've got the character who has to leave home and go out and learn and face challenges, but then they get to bring what they've learned home. And so I've been able to do that because of the tax credit.
Nation says filming was done from Maplewood to St. Louis University, Busch Stadium, some scenes filmed at the old prison in Jefferson City.
Greg Favor is the new commissioner of SEMA, the city of St. Louis's City Emergency Management Agency. Favor previously led the Missouri Department of Public Safety and served in the Navy. He replaces Sarah Russell, who was removed from her position after an investigation found the emergency sirens failed to activate during the May 16th tornado, and she was unaware of that until hours later.
Congratulations to the St. Louis University men's soccer team. They found out they are going to host a game Thursday at Hermann Stadium. They'll be taking on Kentucky in the first round of the NCAA tournament. That starts at 7 o'clock on the campus of St. Louis University. Meanwhile, Lindenwood in the NCAA tournament for the first time will be playing at Kansas City on the same day, but they're on the other side of the bracket. They kind of hoped they were going to be matched up with SLU. SLU was hoping for a first-round bye. Neither team got what they wanted, but they are A10 and OVC tournament champions, respectively. At the Division II level, Maryville and McKendree saw both of their teams go in, men's and women's. UMSL's women's team is in the tournament, and the D3 Wash U men's and women's teams have advanced to the Sweet 16. College basketball, Missouri is 5-0 after a 91-73 victory over Prairie View A&M last night. Southern Illinois lost at North Dakota State. They've been playing some high-scoring games recently, but they fell in this one 92-85. Number 23, Wisconsin beat SIUE 94-69. College football playoff rankings come out tonight. James Franklin once had his Penn State Nittany Lions in the hopes of getting back to the playoff, but he was fired mid-season. He has landed with Virginia Tech. That was announced yesterday. In the NFL, the Cowboys beat the Raiders in Vegas 33-16. It was the Vegas Golden Knights and the Blues' poor play that caused fans at Enterprise Center to boo the team off the ice multiple times Saturday night. Now they go on the road to take on the Maple Leafs tonight in Toronto. Here's Coach Jim Montgomery on what was described to him by a reporter as an opportunity to bond during this road trip.
I love your choice of words. It's a tremendous opportunity, not only to gel, but we haven't had more than 2-game road trip yet. This is a real road trip in the NHL where we go to some not only legendary teams, but places you want to play. Toronto, Philly, New York, New Jersey, so it's exciting because we get to spend some time together. We're going to have meals together, and we're going to roll up our sleeves and go to work together.
The Blues play 5 consecutive games on the road. He described them right there. Toronto tonight, at Philadelphia Thursday. Saturday, they play at the Islanders. Monday, at the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. And Wednesday, at New Jersey, before returning home for a game after Thanksgiving, an afternoon game on Friday, November 28th against Ottawa. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and immerse yourself in the captivating sounds of Russian folk music. Witness a rare event of flame and fantasy as music director Stefan Denev and your SLSO bring Stravinsky's The Firebird to life. Pianist Jean-Yves Thibaudet joins to perform Khachaturian's shimmering piano concerto. November 21st and 22nd at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. At Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, every moment with our patients is a gift. This holiday season, you can be the reason children have hope as they fight serious illness and reach milestones once thought impossible. Your gift provides life-saving care to those who need it most. Please donate today at treeofhope.org and be the reason a child has hope for tomorrow.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-548-4040. 800-548-4040. That's 800-548-4040.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 7:20 and the skies are clearing a little in downtown St. Louis. I see some sunshine peeking through, so we'll have the forecast for you in just a moment. Let's get the assessment of the roadways from Roger Brand, who's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, it looks like we have another trouble downtown, another crash on Highway 70 westbound. It looks like it's between Goodfellow and Jennings Station. There's a jam back to almost Union. Earlier, the crash was at Union on westbound Highway 70, so more trouble there. Southbound 170, they're still working that crash at the Woodson Overpass midway between Page and Olive. Traffic is jammed almost midway between Natural Bridge and the Rock Road on southbound 170 right now. Eastbound Highway 70, K into TR Hughes is heavy. Southbound 61 south of P down onto 64 at the Boulevard slow. It's a little busy around 94. Westbound 64 from the Science Center out through Clayton Skinker's jam, but it's slow to Hanley after that. South 270 south of 364 to 64 slow. North 270 as you ramp on from 55 all the way up to Ladue, just busy the whole way through. Northbound 55, a little slow at 67. The right lane south of Butler Hill. They're reporting a crash north of Lindbergh. I can't see it right now. The primary backup is Union Road overpass to River de Pere the way it normally is. 64 bought of the Poplar bunches up in spots. Eastbound 64 east of 50, most of the way to 158 is slow. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather-wise, we've had some rain this morning, but for the rest of the day, we're looking at a warmer temperature, a high of 68 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, low 49. Tomorrow, cloudiness, cooler, high 59. Could be a thunderstorm on Thursday, high 58. Friday, periods of rain, high 57. Currently, we have a cloudy sky in downtown St. Louis. It's 54 degrees. The weather is sponsored by Chuck's Boots, the Midwest's largest boot stores. Boots for every walk of life. Rugged work boots, stylish fashion, comfortable hiking boots, cowboy classics, uniform boots, and motorcycle gear. Chuck's Boots in Fenton and St. Peters. chucksboots.com.
It is 7:22 and the news continues. And by the way, we have a pair of Blues tickets to give away this hour when the Blues take on the Bruins December 9th. So be listening after Tom's next Sportscast for your cue to call in and win.
They'll be all better by then.
Yes.
On December 9th. The House is expected to vote today on a measure to force the release of the Epstein files. It comes after President Trump changed course and publicly urged Republicans to support the effort. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more.
Monday night, the words "release the files now" were projected onto the Justice Department, and some lawmakers are concerned that the president's push for new investigations into the Epstein case could limit what's released.
They may be trying to use those investigations as a predicate for not releasing the files.
Some survivors of Epstein's abuse are expected to speak outside the Capitol Tuesday morning ahead of the House vote. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Among the most outspoken Republican lawmakers in favor of releasing the files, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says she's received threats since coming out in favor of releasing the files.
Federal immigration authorities will be expanding their enforcement action to Raleigh, North Carolina, as soon as today.
North Carolina Governor Josh Stein is responding to the start of President Trump's surge in Border Patrol activity in Charlotte.
This is not making us safer. It's stoking fear and dividing our community.
The Trump administration has made the Democratic city its latest focus for an immigration enforcement surge it says will combat crime. Stein says he is not against federal help.
To the CBP, if you know that we have violent criminals in Charlotte who are undocumented, we want them out too.
But he says their actions are the opposite.
We've seen masked, heavily armed agents and paramilitary garb driving unmarked cars, targeting American citizens based on their skin color, racially profiling and picking up random people in parking lots and off of our sidewalks, going after landscapers simply decorating a Christmas tree in someone's front yard.
Stein called on the people in Charlotte to stay peaceful. I'm Ed Donahue.
A federal judge is ordering the Justice Department to turn over all grand jury materials to the defense team of former FBI Director James Comey. The judge says there was a disturbing pattern of profound investigative missteps that could mean dismissing the case. Here's CBS's Katrina Kaufman.
There are two judges with this case. One is overseeing the case, and the other one has been dealing with some discovery issues. He's the one who made this decision about turning over the grand jury materials to James Comey. Now, the judge overseeing the case has paused this for now. He wants the government to have an opportunity to respond. They're supposed to respond by Wednesday. So for now, James Comey will not be getting these grand jury materials.
Comey has pled not guilty to obstruction and lying to Congress.
The United States has thousands of troops now available in the Caribbean as the U.S. continues tensions with Venezuela. CBS News national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata is in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
U.S. forces have been conducting military exercises in the Caribbean for weeks. And now the USS Gerald R. Ford, the world's most advanced aircraft carrier, is within striking distance of Venezuela. Sunday's arrival of the Ford comes as the administration moved to designate the Cartel de los Soles, which the U.S. claims is headed by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, a terrorist organization. That, President Trump said, could permit targeting Venezuelan assets and infrastructure.
The United States has been conducting military strikes on vessels in international waters that the administration says were involved with illegal drug activities. However, they have not provided any evidence to support their claims.
The Trump administration's blueprint to secure and govern Gaza has won strong approval with the United Nations, a crucial step that provides international support for efforts to move the devastated territory toward peace following 2 years of war. The U.S. proposal authorizes an international stabilization force to provide security in Gaza and approves a transitional authority to be overseen by President Trump. It also envisions a possible future path to an independent Palestinian state. The vote endorses the 20-point ceasefire plan and builds on the momentum of the fragile ceasefire that Trump helped broker with allies.
If you're having trouble getting on X, formerly known as Twitter, internet infrastructure provider Cloudflare says this morning it is deploying a fix for an issue that has caused global outages for ChatGPT, social media platform X, League of Legends, and other prominent internet services this morning. Cloudflare said on its status page earlier today that it identified an issue that was impacting multiple customers. There were reports of widespread errors as well as Cloudflare dashboard and API failing. We have seen that actually in our studio today from X. It is not going as of right now here. We have an outage.
It is now 7:27, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Tell you what is on the move right now, those Genesis vehicles. You want to get yourself one, that's for sure. Genesis of St. Charles has them. Genesis of St. Charles is Missouri's #1 Genesis dealers. Those amazing Genesis vehicles, the EVs, the sedans, the SUVs, they're so smooth. They look great. They look even better inside. And you're going to want to test drive a Genesis as soon as you can. Just go to 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's right off I-70 off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. Fabulous dealership. Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership. They bought into this building, and you can tell when you walk in, it is high end. and really a pleasant experience. They want your trade. They're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase at Genesis of St. Charles. It's the signature event. Unlock the e-price by going to genesisofstcharles.com. No gimmicks, just upfront pricing. The e-price at genesisofstcharles.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to warm up your winter with the new grilled cheese bacon burger. Charbroiled 100% Angus beef, bacon, and Swiss and American cheese melting on our soft, buttery sourdough. And our new grilled cheese breakfast sandwich with sausage or bacon and a fried egg. Cozy up to the goodness of the new grilled cheese bacon burger and breakfast sandwich. For a limited time, only at Hardee's. Cinnamon Raisin Biscuits are back. Unwrap them while you can. Only for a limited time at participating restaurants.
It is 7:30, and right now we do have a little bit of sunshine in downtown St. Louis and some clouds as well. It's 54 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got some crashes, Tom. In fact, I can finally see the one out here, although I mentioned in the last report, westbound 70 at Jennings Station. It looks minor, but they're in the left lane. Westbound 70 is jammed back to about Kings Highway, and they're still working the crash. I can't see which lane's blocked, but it's southbound 170 on the Woodson Overpass midway between Page and Olive. It's a solid jam back through Natural Bridge now on South 170, so that's slowly getting worse. Southbound 270 approaching 364 all the way down to 64. That's busy. Eastbound 70 more volume. St. Louis all the way into T.R. Hughes and Fifth Street into our city right now. Southbound 61 a little busy at P. 64 from 70 all the way in through to almost Research Park. There's just heavy pockets through the Chesterfield Parkways and at the Interbelt. Westbound 64 from Kings Highway headed out to Hanley's pretty heavy. North 270 as you ramp on from 55 all the way up to Ladue is slow. North 55, that crash is actually at the Rivas Barracks exit in the exit lane, so you can get around it. The right lane's Butler Hill to 270 and all lanes north to Lindbergh up to River to Pears. So westbound 64, 25th Street to the Poplar. Eastbound 64, not as bad, just a couple of slow spots approaching Greenmount into 158. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We will have just variable cloudiness today, like right now where the clouds have moved out. We have some bright sunshine and then clouds move back in. We could see a shower or thunderstorm hanging around through midday. High of 68 degrees. More clouds tomorrow and a high of just 59. It's 54 right now.
In the news this morning, Total Information AM on KMOX. We have the following, starting with scrapping the state income tax for Missouri citizens, the top priority for Governor Mike Kehoe during next year's legislative session. He tells a group of reporters that any plan he endorses would be responsible.
It doesn't underfund services, government, police departments, or anything, but also lets them keep more of their money in their pocket. And we think anytime Missourians can keep more of their money, it's a good day for them.
The proposal is also expected to gradually phase out Missouri's income tax over a few years' time. The move is opposed by the group Missouri Budget Project, which advocates for low-income residents. In a written statement, the Missouri Budget Project says eliminating the state's income tax would wipe out more than 60% of state revenues and require massive cuts to public services. The 2026 Missouri legislative session starts January 7th.
Happening today, jailed Sheriff Alfred Montgomery returns to the courthouse he once protected to stand trial.
The trial is not his federal criminal case, but rather the Quo Warranto, where Attorney General Catherine Hanaway seeks to remove the embattled sheriff. If Montgomery is found guilty on just one of the 5 counts against him, he will be removed from office permanently.
There's a pretty long list of ways that he is either not doing his job or abusing his authority, and we feel pretty good about the trial.
The counts against Montgomery include having a deputy transport his children to and from school, refusing to transport detainees in need of medical care, and having the deputy jail commissioner detained. He also faces a new count which argues due to his own criminal detainment, he cannot do the job of sheriff. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Happening today, jailed Sheriff Alfred Montgomery returning to the courthouse, as Sean said, in one of the area Starbucks locations that's been the epicenter of labor strife is set to see more of it today. Members of the union Starbucks Workers United plan a picket line outside the coffee house on Hampton by 64. Union spokesperson Michelle Eisen.
Striking baristas are making 3 very clear demands: more take-home pay, better hours and staffing, and fair treatment under the law. That means an end to the union busting and the resolution of the hundreds of unfair labor practice charges that Starbucks has piled up.
In this latest set of actions involving 1,000 baristas or more nationwide, it began with the company's annual Red Cup Day.
The news is sponsored for you by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:34.
This year, we're celebrating a century of St. Louis radio history. 100 years of KMOX. Hi, I'm Randy Carricker, and I've got so many great memories from my time behind the mic, and now we want to hear yours. Open the Odyssey app, find KMOX, and tap the voice message feature to share your favorite KMOX moments. Join us as we celebrate 100 years of the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Woke radical liberals are screwing up this country, but Congressman Jason Smith is fighting back. He backed one big, beautiful tax cut for working families, ending Social Security taxes for nearly all seniors, and taxes on tips and overtime gone. So call Congressman Jason Smith at 202-225-4404 and thank him for backing working family tax cuts and putting America first. Paid for by American Prosperity Alliance.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
It's 7:36. Your money report sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Mass layoffs by U.S. companies jumped to about 39,000 in October. That's one of the highest levels on record, and it signals a weakening job market. This according to just released data from the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. The Bitcoin rally that welcomed a wave of new investors through easy-to-access ETFs has officially gone underwater. Investors at U.S. exchange-traded funds that offer direct access to the cryptocurrency found themselves sitting on collective losses. Nike's new sneaker drop with the rapper Travis Scott among the most popular shoe releases ever. Scott's blue and white Fragment Jordan 1 sneakers, which were made in collaboration with Nike, attracted more than 4.4 million valid raffle entries after going live on Scott's website. And the dining scene in Dubai got an AI upgrade. Woohoo is run by a $1.1 million robot chef. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. UC Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Fairwinds River's Edge in St. Charles. We deliver a life-enhancing environment that nourishes the mind, body, and spirit as residents lean into joy and embrace purpose in a new age of senior living. Simply put, we have your back so you can put your best foot forward. Join us Wednesday, December 3rd for our holiday craft fair, followed by happy hour with BB Boomers. Visit Fairwinds River's Edge on Facebook to learn more.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
At a dinner party, I heard a guy say, "I believe everything happens for a reason."
Dimitri Martin.
And I just wanted to smack him in the face,
The Quick Draw Tour.
And he'd be like, "What the hell did you do that for?" You tell me.
November 20th, on stage at the Factory. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Produced by Outback Presents.
That's your belief, man. That's your thing. I don't know.
Don't miss Dimitri Martin, live.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here. As many of you know, I volunteer with Bethesda Hospice. But did you know the other ways Bethesda serves our area seniors? Located in Webster Groves, Pacific Place is not like other retirement communities with just 30 apartments. It's attached to Big Sky Cafe and is walking distance to the shops in Old Orchard. The residents are vibrant and active, and the ones I met love the comfort of the small boutique setting. Go to BethesdaHealth.org to learn more about Pacific Place or any of the Bethesda senior living communities.
Friday night, it's men's Billikens basketball as they face Purdue Fort Wayne. Pre-game 6:45, tip at 7 on your home for Billikens basketball. 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is now 7:41. Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. We had some sunshine, and now it looks like maybe it's getting a little darker in downtown St. Louis. We'll have the weather from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg after we check the roadways with Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, they cleared that crash to the shoulder westbound 70 at Jennings Station. There's still a backup through Kings Highway, though, in the area. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, there's heavy traffic from A in through O'Brien Road, K into T.R. Hughes, 5th Street into Earth City, and from Lindbergh through the airport, and then another slowdown out of Cool Valley into that Jennings Station area. Southbound 170 is slow from Frost down to 70, and it jams just south of 70 due to that crash they're clearing between Page and Olive on southbound 170. Southbound 270, Dorset down to Ladue, North 270, 55 up to Ladue, stop and go pockets. Eastbound 64 coming off 61, which is slow south of P. There are delays all the way through Winghaven, Annie Guns through Clarkson, east of Lindbergh through the Intervale, westbound 64, Kings Highway to Hanley's heavy, North 55, the right lanes at Butler Hill, a little backup approaching Rivas from an earlier crash, Bayless all the way to Virginia, 64 at 25th Street, 5570 at Exchange to the Poplar, and eastbound 64, Greenmount through 158 slow. Next update is 750 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
The Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. Has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo at Hannaford. It's got twang.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. How's it feeling out there right now for everybody?
It's still a little unstable right now. There's still some thunderstorms that are north of town. Basically, everything's north of I-70, I-270 at this point in time, and moving east-northeast. These thunderstorms should be the last hurrah of this particular system. The afternoon hours look dry with cloud and a little sun, and we'll wander up to 68. That's as warm as it's going to be for the week ahead because This little warm front will quickly give way to a cold front this afternoon, and behind it, the clouds roll back in tonight, and by morning, we're down to 49. A mostly cloudy, gray, cool day tomorrow with a high of 59. Next system comes at us on Thursday, will bring us rain at times. There may be a thunderstorm as well. Better chance of that south of the city. The high 50. The warm air doesn't make it this far north this time around. Friday, one more disturbance moved through with rain at times and a high 57. We dried out just in time for the weekend with some sunshine Saturday. Should be a good day to be out and about. The high about 56. Right now it's 54 at St. Peter's, 53 at Florissant. I'll call it mostly cloudy, 55 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is now 7:43. Hey, we're calling an audible here. We're doing it now. The St. Louis Blues have provided us with some tickets to the game on December 9th. This is the Blues versus the Bruins at Enterprise Center. If you're caller number 5 right now at 314-955-1120, you win the tickets. 314-955-1120.
Don't know when the last time you were down at Enterprise Center, but it is hosting concerts. It's hosting basketball. And of course, it's the home of the St. Louis Blues. It's also the home of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. And after crediting the $150 million renovation of Enterprise Center with attracting multiple major sporting events, the St. Louis Sports Commission is seeking more public funding to remain competitive. President Mark Schreiber says other cities St. Louis is competing with for these events are more aggressive with their public funding.
It's going to take City Hall, Board of Aldermen, on and on and on, even St. Louis County to get behind this.
He credits Enterprise Center renovations with drawing the U.S. Figure Skating Championship and the Frozen Four. The first 2 rounds of the NCAA basketball tournament will also be played in St. Louis next year. The Blues, meanwhile, are in Toronto. They are taking on the Maple Leafs tonight. It's a 6 o'clock face-off against their former coach, Craig Berube. His team is off to not a great start. They're a game under 500. The Blues, meanwhile, are trying to get out of last place in the Central Division. It has been very difficult for them to do so. They lost back-to-back games Friday, Saturday. Philadelphia came back from two-goal deficits to win 6-5. And then Vegas won 4-1 in dominating fashion. How do you deal with this as a coach? You want to motivate your team. You want to criticize your team. You want to keep your team positive. It's all of those things, says Jim Montgomery.
You know, to be honest, you got to balance it all the time as a coach. When do you push? When do you pull back? I think when things are going hard like they are right now, you push in a quiet tone. You can be harder with your tone and more demanding in your tone when your team's on a roll because they're feeling good about themselves. They don't care what you're saying and how you're saying it. But when the confidence is low, your tone, you have to be aware of it as a coach.
Blues and Leafs tonight at 6 o'clock. Mizzou basketball a winner over Prairie View A&M, 91-73 last night. The Tigers off to a 5-0 start. SIUE lost at number 23 Wisconsin, and Southern Illinois fell at North Dakota State. In the NFL, it was the Cowboys over the Raiders, 33-16. College football, a coaching change. James Franklin, recently fired by Penn State, has landed as head coach at Virginia Tech. College football playoff rankings come out tonight. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia. That's how the AP Top 25 looks. We'll see what the CFP rankings reflect tonight. And college soccer, congratulations to St. Louis University. They have landed in the NCAA tournament with a first-round home game against Kentucky. Now, SLU wanted a first-round bye, but they could not climb high enough in the rankings to get it. A 5-4 PK win over Dayton in the A-10 tournament final got them into the NCAA tournament. Could a regular win gotten them higher and perhaps a first-round bye? We'll never know. But they'll play Kentucky on Thursday night at Herman Stadium at 7 o'clock. And if they win that, they get a date with Indiana on Sunday. Last time they played Indiana, they lost 1-0 in a very competitive game. SLU, the A-10 champions, they're in the NCAA tournament for the 52nd time. That is an NCAA record. They also hold a record 10 national championships in men's soccer. Lindenwood, meanwhile, is also in the NCAA tournament. They'll be playing on Thursday at Kansas City, first ever D1 tournament for the Lions. In Division 2, McKendree and Maryville men's and women's teams both get in. UMSL's women's team got in. In D3, Wash U's men's and women's teams are already in the Sweet 16. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Billikens and the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You know that expression, put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing, then an explosive takeoff. It makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. And speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Just step in and instantly your shoes are on. No bending down and no touching. Try Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Chesterfield Valley Nursery invites you to make your own live holiday decor this year in our Winter Planter class happening on November 22nd. Sign up today on our website or Facebook. Learn how to put together a live evergreen porch planter. Registration required. Spots fill up fast. Visit ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com. That's November 22nd. ChesterfieldValleyNursery.com to register.
This is Todd Krentz with Krentz Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we have helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. Selling your business is a major milestone. Before and after the sale, our role is to help cut through complexity and create a clear financial strategy focused on your legacy. We often coordinate with your attorney and CPA to ensure everything is aligned so your plan not only fits today, but continues working for you in the future. Your goals, our mission. Start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Servicing. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:50. Total Information AM continues with another check of traffic and weather, starting with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're coming out of the city on westbound Highway 70, Debbie, you have some slow traffic around the bend, O'Fallon Park, so West Florissant, out to about Jennings Station from an earlier crash. Eastbound 70 drivers looking at slow traffic, Z to 64 from Lake St. Louis all the way into TR Hughes, from 5th Street, most of the way into the airport, and then again from Hanley all the way into that Jennings Station area. South 170, they cleared that crash south of Page. We are slow, though, from just south of 270. Now there's a crash closer to the Rock Road, so it jams on South 170 at 70 down to that point. And then it's slow from Olive down to Ladue, and crash on, or the volume from that earlier crash unwinding. Southbound 270 slows at 70, and it backs up midway down through Dorset and Page. It remains busy down to Ladue. North 270, stop and go stuff as you ramp on from 55 and stretches all the way up through Doherty Ferry, and it remains heavy up to Ladue. North 55, right lanes through Butler Hill. All lanes up back up bumper to bumper most of the way up from the Union Road overpass through Virginia. Westbound 64 jam 25th Street to the Poplar. Eastbound 64, 50 into Greenmounts on the brakes. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
By the way, congratulations to Robert in Troy, Illinois. He picks up that pair of tickets to see the Blues on December 9th. We'll have another pair to give away tomorrow.
We had some rain overnight and this morning, shower and thunderstorm hanging around the area, but it has moved out of here warmer with a high of 68. I can actually see some blue sky now peeking through here in downtown St. Louis. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 49. Tomorrow, cloudy, cooler, high of 59 degrees. Currently, we have clouds in downtown St. Louis. It's 55 at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:52. President Trump hosting Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the White House. Karen House, senior fellow at Harvard Kennedy School's Belfer Center for Science and International Affairs, explains why the meeting is a big deal for both leaders.
For Trump to have the future king of Saudi Arabia in the White House, and he's flattering the Crown Prince, and for the Crown Prince to be seen with the man who right now is kind of Mr. Big on the world stage, and MBS, as the Crown Prince is called, wants to be seen as big on the world stage. So I think it presents the picture both of them would like to have.
The president will also host a black tie dinner for the crown prince at the White House as part of this visit.
The House is set to vote on legislation to force the Justice Department to release all unclassified files on Jeffrey Epstein. Here's CBS's Natalie Brand.
President Trump is now saying that he would sign this bill if it reaches his desk. That means not only would it have to pass the House, but also the Senate. And that's been the big question. If it does pass the House, does he support it going to the Senate? Yesterday, when asked by reporters, he said, yeah, let the Senate look at it, and that he would sign it, again, if it ends up passing through Congress.
A proposed rule change could strip federal protections from most wetlands.
The Trump administration wants to reduce the Environmental Protection Agency's power to limit pollution in wetlands, rivers, and streams across the country. The rule change would remove protections from about 85% of the nation's wetlands, potentially threatening sources of drinking water for millions of Americans. Farmers, oil drillers, and home builders have argued for the rule change, saying that cutting of red tape would help lower their costs, savings they could pass on to consumers. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
From the KMOX archives, 38 years ago today, the Congressional Iran-Contra Committees issued their final report, which said President Reagan bore final responsibility for what had gone wrong with a policy that had ended in a swap of arms for hostages. Indiana Democrat Lee Hamilton, who chaired the House committee, had this comment.
Common ingredients in the Iran-Contra affair were secrecy, deception, and a disdain for law.
Several dozen administration officials were indicted, leading to 11 convictions, including a lieutenant colonel and an admiral. Many of the convictions were later vacated on appeal because of immunity or pardons by President George H.W. Bush.
97 years ago today, the first successful sound-synchronized animated cartoon, Walt Disney's Steamboat Willie, starring Mickey Mouse, premiered in New York. That's what it sounded like. You've probably seen it a few times.
Black and white, a little not quite Mickey yet, but Mickey 1.0.
That's right.
How about this one?
The day Rome falls, there will be a shout of freedom such as the world has never heard before.
All right. What movie was that, folks? That was Ben-Hur. Charlton Heston. That MGM classic premiered 66 years ago today.
It's 7:55.
I'm Andrew Stoles, and this is KMOX. The voice of St. Louis.
McKelvey Homes, 1898, the year they were founded. They're 127 years strong at McKelvey Homes, Missouri's oldest home builder and the best. Missouri's oldest home builder and the best. Isn't that nice to know that they're the best in the business and they've been around for so long? They're excited to introduce their newest community. It's called The Reserve at Wildwood, a premier development, 50 acres at the southwest corner of 109 and Route 100 in the heart of Wildwood. Stunning collection of homes, 2-car, 3-car garages designed with the highest quality craftsmanship and style that McKelvey is known for. The Reserve at Wildwood, more than just a place to live. It's a place to thrive. Outdoor lovers, they're going to love it. Community featuring a private playground, rain gardens, miles of walking trails that wind through scenic green spaces. It's a beautiful area of our region, 109 and 100. The Reserve at Wildwood from McKelvey Homes, one of the most sought-after areas of West St. Louis County. McKelveyhomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
Of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at usps.com/holidays.
7:58. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we still have slow traffic on westbound 70 Kings Highway running out through Jennings Station. If you're on eastbound 70, it's still busy. Lake St. Louis most of the way into 79 from 270 into the airport and from 170 in through Jennings Station. South 170 is doing better. They cleared a crash near National Bridge, the second one we've had. Scudder down to 70, and then let's call it Page down to 64, still slow. South 270 from really the Rock Road or Highway 70 all the way down to 64 is busy. North 270, 55 up through 44, it's jammed. 44 to Doherty Ferry, but still busy all the way up to Ladue after that. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway into 64. All the way in, it's actually bumper to bumper K through 94. Then it's slow through the Chesterfield Parkways and east of Ballast. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's heavy. Northbound 55, south of Rivas up through to Holly Hills bumper to bumper. 64 jam ball to the Poplar, and eastbound 64 backs up 50 through Greenmount. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company at St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's clearing up in downtown St. Louis, 54 degrees. I'm Tom Ackerman. Megan Lynch is coming up next.
Do you reach out, circle back, follow up, or hope your email finds someone well? This is Megan Lynch. Next hour, I'll tell you about the most overused phrases in emails and how you can improve your digital communication.
The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia makes his first visit to the U.S. since the killing of an American journalist. CBS's Natalie Brand has more.
An Afton church is among a growing nationwide non-denominational movement.
OpenAI's new video generator is taking deepfakes to a new level.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Clouds, breaks of sunshine, and warmer today with a shower and thunderstorm around through midday at the high 68.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The U.S. House is set to vote later today on forcing the full release of the Justice Department's files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. In a reversal, President Trump is now urging Republicans to support the release.
Let anybody look at it, but don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem.
Some Epstein victims are expected to be on Capitol Hill today.
This is one of the most disgusting scandals in American history.
California Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna has been pushing for the release of the files since 2019. He tells CBS Mornings he has spoken with the survivors.
They have these names of people who either abused them, who raped them, or who covered up for Epstein.
Khanna says some of the men are still on corporate boards.
The facts need to come out, and whoever is caught up with it needs to be held accountable, Democrat or Republican.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
President Trump has a big welcome plan for Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the White House today. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The White House is planning a series of elaborate touches to the visit, even though Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman isn't technically the head of state. That would be his father. But his visit is seen as a move to rehab his image after the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Ahead of bin Salman's arrival, the president told reporters yesterday that the U.S. would sell F-35 fighter jets to the Saudis. After some 130 arrests by federal immigration officers in Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh is preparing for the Trump administration crackdown to hit there today. WCNC-TV reporter Harrison Grubb in Raleigh with comment from Mayor Janet Cowell.
In a statement, Cowell says in part, quote, "As the capital city, it is important to us that everyone who lives, works, plays, and learns in Raleigh feels safe." The mayor stressed that Raleigh is a safe city, pointing to decreasing crime.
If you want to check out posts on X, you might get a message saying posts are not loading right now. Try again. And ChatGPT has also been down this morning. Internet infrastructure provider Cloudflare says it is deploying a fix for an issue that has caused the global outages. The popular online gaming platform Roblox announces measures to strengthen protection for minors. Roblox CEO David Baszucki on CBS Mornings.
We're going to be requiring an age check for everyone who uses communication and chat. And we're going to be able to use this to connect people to similar age groups for chat, to limit interaction between kids and adults.
The enhanced protections come as dozens of families, along with attorneys general in some states, are suing or investigating Roblox for allegedly failing to deter sexual predators from approaching children on their platforms. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, November 18th. I'm Megan Lynch. Happening today, jailed Sheriff Alfred Montgomery will return to the courthouse he once protected to stand trial.
The trial is not his federal criminal case, but rather the Quo Warranto, where Attorney General Catherine Hanaway seeks to remove the embattled sheriff. If Montgomery is found guilty on just one of the 5 counts against him, he will be removed from office permanently.
There's a pretty long list of ways that he is either not doing his job or abusing his authority, and we feel pretty good about the trial.
The counts against Montgomery include having a deputy transport his children to and from school, refusing to transport detainees in need of medical care, and having the deputy jail commissioner detained. He also faces a new count which argues due to his own criminal detainment, he cannot do the job of sheriff. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
One of the area Starbucks locations that's been the epicenter of labor strife is set to see more of it today. Members of the union Starbucks Workers United plan a picket line outside the coffee house on Hampton by 6440. Union spokesperson Michelle Eisen explains why.
Striking baristas are making 3 very clear demands: more take-home pay, better hours and staffing, and fair treatment under the law. That means an end to the union busting and the resolution of the hundreds of unfair labor practice charges that Starbucks has piled up.
This latest set of actions involving 1,000 baristas nationwide began with the company's annual Red Cup Day. A final vote comes today for changing St. Louis County's purchasing code.
The purchasing code is how the county acquires all its goods, services, and construction projects. Republican Councilman Mark Harder is worried that the bill would handcuff the county's future.
Our surrounding counties around us don't have these requirements.
He says the wording is difficult to understand.
I got a feeling that the special interests that put this together, this was a cut and paste job from other codes out there around the country. And so you've got sections of it that conflict with another section because they didn't proof it real well.
Harder believes the purchasing code should include mandatory participation goals for minority and women-owned businesses, but
we've got a lot of projects that could be done here, and we shouldn't be making it harder for developers and people that want to do things for the county in our county. We got to make it easier.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
A popular holiday tradition returns this Thursday in Belleville. State Representative Jay Hoffman and State Senator Christopher Bell teaming up once again to hand out free Thanksgiving meals. This year, they're not just giving away turkeys. Thanks to generous local donations, families will receive a full holiday spread. The meal package includes a turkey plus all the sides like canned green beans, stuffing, gravy, cornbread, and cranberry sauce. The giveaway starts at 10 o'clock this Thursday morning at the Belleville YMCA on South Illinois Street.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma roast turkey, I concur.
If you're traveling for Thanksgiving, the roads will be busy. AAA's Nick Chabaria tells KMOX the most popular transportation to get to your feast is by car.
And that's not surprising. About 90% of all travelers will take road trips to get to their Thanksgiving destinations. Next popular is air travel, with about 6 million folks taking to the skies for Thanksgiving.
Chabaria says there's another category called other travel, and it includes buses, trains, and cruises, which this year accounts for about 2.5 million travelers nationwide.
However, that is showing the largest increase year over year at about 8.5%, compared to the other modes at about 2% increase from last year.
Chabaria adds cruising has made a huge comeback since the pandemic. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
AAA forecasting about 6 million people will fly. The owner of Arch Apparel now considering bankruptcy after closing his last physical store. The closure of the Ballpark Village location follows the shutdown of its other stores in Brentwood, West County, and St. Charles. While the owner blames low foot traffic for falling sales, public records show sales tax receipts at Ballpark Village are actually up this year compared to 2024. The company also faces an ongoing lawsuit from its former Brentwood landlord over a lease termination fee. From the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. In the top 50 markets, it's about 40% cheaper to rent than to buy a home. What about in the Midwest?
St. Louis is a great example where you see that the gap there is much more modest. It is still cheaper to rent than to buy there, but the gap there is a lot smaller.
Bankrate data analyst Alex Gailey says a big consideration in buying a home is how long you intend to stay. Less than 5 to 7 years might not be worth it. The Blues do face the Maple Leafs tonight in Toronto. It's now 8:08. We'll check traffic and weather together next.
Purina presents A Century of Service.
This is KMOX Radio.
KMOX is celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining St. Louis. On November 20th, KMOX Day, we will celebrate the KMOX pioneers.
This is Jim White for your information.
Legendary voices.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Groundbreaking programming.
KMOX Radio. We're at your service.
And unforgettable moments that have defined a century of broadcasting.
We did locate Ben this afternoon, and we've also located Sean Harnbeck.
Hear from current and former KMOX personalities who have helped make this station the preeminent news, information, and sports brand in America. A century of service, celebrating 100 years of KMOX, is presented by Purina, your pet, our passion, on the voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:10, a lot of slow going out there this morning. Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it's still busy in a lot of spots, Megan. You're right. There's still slow traffic both ways around Jennings Station, Lucas Hunt on Highway 70 westbound. It begins at Riverview. Eastbound, really from 170 into that area is kind of busy. And eastbound 70 is also slow. Lake St. Louis into 79 and a little busy 270 into the Rock Road. Eastbound 64 from 70 to 364 from Winghaven all the way to 94. Some of that stop and go through the Chesterfield Parkways. It's heavy. And then east of Ballas all the way in through 170. South 170. Better than it was, but it's still busy from Midland all the way down to 64. Westbound 64, Science Center headed out through Hanley and Lindbergh to 270 is busy. North 270 backed up. 55 through Tesson Ferry remains heavy, though, all the way to Ladue. South 270, 364 to 64 is slow. Northbound 55 back up from the Union Road overpass most of the way up to Virginia. Westbound 64 on the Illinois side, pretty close to 25th Street to the Poplar stop and go. And eastbound 64 approaching 50 past Greenmount Road is bumper to bumper in the work zone. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And coming up on Total Information AM, OpenAI's new video generator is taking deep fakes to a new level. We'll get more for you.
KMOX AccuWeather variable clouders today. There'll be a shower and thunderstorm around through midday, then mainly dry this afternoon. It'll turn warmer with a high of 68. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 49. For tomorrow, plenty of clouds, cooler, the high 59. Thursday, cloudy and cool with on and off rain. There may be a thunderstorm as well, the high 58. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We are seeing some sunshine, 54 degrees now downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. A lot of us have been hearing about OpenAI's new AI video generator app, Sora, and it is really creating some incredible deep fakes. We wanted to talk more about it with CNET AI reporter Caitlin Shadrawi. Good morning, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First off, what do we need to know about Sora?
Sora is the sister app to ChatGPT. It's made by the same parent company, OpenAI. Sora is a social media app. It feels a lot like you're scrolling TikTok, but there's a big catch. Nothing you see on the Sora app is real. Every video is AI generated. And the Sora model has been upgraded, and these videos are very realistic and they come with sound. And its most popular feature is the ability to create AI videos of pretty much any Sora user that lets you use their likeness.
Wow. So, what kind of videos are you seeing on this platform right now?
Sora is kind of an AI deepfake fever dream, in my opinion. There are a lot of different kinds of videos. You have your usual roundup of just weird memes that are funny. There's also a number of celebrities that are on the platform. Mark Cuban, for example, is one of the biggest celebrities on Sora, and he allows people to use his likeness. So there's a number of videos featuring Cuban on the app.
I'm wondering pros and cons of this and what you feel might be some of the risks.
Sora definitely comes with some risks. There's definitely no doubt about that. The biggest risk is that these Sora videos are so realistic looking that if you take them off of the platform, it might be really hard for people to immediately understand that the video is not real and that it was generated by AI. There are a couple of things that OpenAI has done to sort of help people with that. The biggest is that they include a little watermark on every video. There's a cloud icon that bounces around the edge of the screen. So if you see that cloud icon, that's an immediate sign that the video you're looking at was generated by AI and not created by a real person. But there are a number of concerns that these watermarks are very easy to remove and that, frankly, people just don't pay that close enough attention to those watermarks that are moving around. So there's a concern that this low quality AI generated content is flooding our feeds. You might have heard it referred to as AI slop.
How many individuals right now are using this platform? Do we know?
So we do have some early numbers. We know that when Sora initially released in September, the iOS app for iPhone users was downloaded over 1 million times in less than 5 days. The Android version of the app just released a couple of days ago, and we're seeing early reports that the Android app also had a blockbuster opening week. Early numbers suggest that nearly 500,000 people with Android devices have downloaded the app. So clearly Sora's popularity is uncontested in terms of AI video generators. There are other AI video generators that are popular, but the social media aspect of Sora does seem to be really drawing people in.
We recently did some stories here about how AI is being used to create sexual content, sometimes some of it violent or, victimizing minors. Is there any concern yet in this platform that people are seeing that type of material?
Yeah, the creation of potentially abusive and illegal content is one of the primary concerns of, I would say, anybody who's in the AI industry. It's certainly a concern of the AI companies making these generators, which is why they have guardrails in place to try and prevent that. But we know these systems aren't perfect and that there are ways for bad actors to get around them. So that's why there is a lot of research also being done in this area and a lot of advocacy to sort of push for different methods to try and prevent that from happening.
How does this compare to other platforms? For example, we've heard a lot about Google's new AI video generator.
Yeah, Google's VO3 was one of the biggest AI video generators of this year. VO3 came out in this spring. They dropped it at their I/O developers conference. And it was also a blockbuster in its own right because it was the first major AI video model from a big tech company to include sound. And for us as users, that might seem kind of obvious. We don't want to watch videos without sound, right? But for these AI companies behind the scenes, the ability to create audio and synchronize it to a video is actually a very complex task. So Google was really the first to grab that crown. Sora also is able to do that. So they're often compared to each other a lot. I've used both VO3 and Sora quite extensively in my time as an AI reporter, and they are very good at what they claim to do. So when people ask me whether they should use VO3 or Sora, the first thing I tell them is, well, if you're paying for Gemini or you're paying for ChatGPT, just use the one you're already paying for. You don't need another subscription to pay for when both of these models are really excelling at what they say they're able to do. However, I do think Sora has a little bit of an edge over VO3, but I think that could really change over time, especially as these models are upgraded in the future.
Caitlin, I'm really curious too about the whole data center question and how much energy that these types of video generators consume.
Yeah, absolutely. Energy usage for AI is a really big area of concern for people. So just to back up a step, these AI data centers are cropping up all over the US, and they're not just for video. They power all manner of generative AI models, including chatbots and image generators. And they're the ones that are processing your requests when you're asking Sora to create a video. So we've seen a lot of interest in the amount of energy usage that AI requires. So we're just beginning to see some research in this area. One study that I can share with you is a recent study from Hugging Face that found that video is much more costly in terms of energy spent compared to image and text generation. The study found that video diffusion is 30 times more costly than image generation and 2,000 times more costly than text. So to put that another way, when you create a single AI video, you use approximately 90 watt hours of energy compared to 2.9 watt hours for image and less than 1 for text generation. So the AI energy usage is definitely something that we're going to have to keep an eye on, especially as AI video tools like Sora remain popular and become more accessible.
That is CNET AI reporter Caitlin Shadrawi. Caitlin, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's get the latest on the roads because we still do have some backups. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, still slow going on a lot of highways, right, Megan? This traffic reports a service of the Pauley Agency. If you're on northbound 270, as a matter of fact, it's still bogged down from Tesson Ferry all the way to Ladue. South 270, 364 to Ladue is slow. Eastbound Highway 70, east of Lake St. Louis and through TR Hughes is still kind of busy. There's a little slowdown both ways around Jennings Station. The eastbound stuff about Lucas Hunt. Eastbound 364 coming in east of Youngerman, headed over to 94 Mugi. Looks a little slow before you get to the Veterans Bridge. Eastbound 64 from 70 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Approaching K through 94 is busy. There's a slowdown Clarkston to Timberlake, and then from 270 all the way through 170, South 170 bogs down your page. Westbound 64 jammed from the Science Center out to McCausland, slow through the inner belt. Northbound 55, Bales up to rear to Pears, busy. Eastbound 44 from 55 past the Poplar, slow. 64 Baugh to the Poplars, heavy. Eastbound 64 approaching 50, most of the way to 158 is slow. Hey, St. Louis, how would you like to see if you, your family, or employees qualify for a health insurance plan that has open enrollment year-round? Call the Pauley Agency. We put the sure in insurance. Call to set an appointment at 636-222-2149. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Variably cloudy today. Showers and thunderstorms are possible through midday, and it will be a warmer day today with a high of 68. Mostly cloudy tonight, an overnight low of 49. And then tomorrow, cloudy and cooler, a high of 59. Right now, we have sunshine, 54 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
Let Banner Construction show you what a difference James Hardy can make to your home. Banner's exterior design team will show you custom design options to transform your home into the neighborhood showplace. Banner is a preferred James Hardy and Pella Windows specialist. With winter just around the corner, now is the time to think about Pella Windows for energy efficiency and comfort. Call Banner Construction 314-569-1050 to schedule your free in-home consultation, or the website bannerconstruction.com, and have a banner day.
How are you today?
Hi, great, thanks. May I get a sea salt caramel latte with almond milk, extra caramel, extra shot, iced,
Gross.
and to go, please. Did you get all that?
No, I was just ringing you up for all the extras. Can you repeat your order, please?
Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna go.
Stop paying extra for extras. Get fancy coffee without the fancy coffee price at Quick Trip. Raise your coffee bar.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Black Friday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Black Friday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
I'm Megan Lynch, and you're listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. While there is a sharp drop in the number of Americans who say religion is important in their lives, there's one denomination that has seen significant growth. CBS News anchor Maurice Dubois visited a church in Afton.
At Rooftop Church, just outside St. Louis, it's not collars and frocks, it's hats and jeans.
Good morning. Welcome to Rooftop. My name is Matt.
Head pastor Matt Herndon sets the tone on Sundays.
When a lot of people come in, they do notice some things that maybe they wouldn't see at other churches. Oh, that's strange. He's wearing a hat. Oh, we just watched a video clip from Beauty and the Beast. We really do want to engage with people in a way that they can understand and lean into.
The traditional churches will not.
Sure. Yeah.
Rooftop is one of an estimated 44,000 non-denominational Christian churches in the U.S., meaning its teachings are rooted in the Bible, but it's an independent house of worship.
How should we welcome God into our lives like Abraham does?
What Herndon launched in a community center nearly 25 years ago now attracts as many as 600 people to its seats in any given week.
Non-denominational is actually the strongest force in American Christianity right now.
Washington University professor Ryan Burge calls this kind of growth the rise of the non-denoms.
They really talk about a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Many of them preach a conservative gospel on things like abortion, same-sex marriage, but they don't lead with those things.
In 1972, fewer than 3% of Americans identified as non-denominational Christians. Now it's 14%, 40 million people.
There's a real chance in 15 years there'll be more non-denominationals in America than there will be Roman Catholics. It might be the largest religious tradition in America.
Why do you think that is?
I think we're moving away from authority structure.
Okay, that's great.
That looser structure is what attracts Rooftop members Anna and Nathan King, who grew up attending traditional Christian churches.
Here at Rooftop, I think we focus on thinking critically about those traditions and challenging each other, but not letting it divide us.
I love how casual it is. It's really cool that we could be in the pews and one of our elders or pastors is right in the pew next to us.
Take you at your word. Herndon calls this Big Tent Christianity. He uses video and pop culture.
The prince sneered at the gift.
While focusing on what he sees as the fundamentals of the Bible, without taking a hard line. What do you say to people who look at this and say, this is Christianity light?
I emphatically disagree.
In Genesis 18, the Lord shows up at their door.
We dig really deep into Scripture. We just try to figure out, what does this mean for people?
Is that the future of Christianity in America?
Well, I happen not to be a prophet.
But you've seen the last quarter century.
Yeah. Some denominations, more traditional denominations, I think they've realized we don't have much of a future unless we try to figure out how to reconnect with people.
Maurice Dubois, CBS News.
Coming up on Total Information AM, President Trump is hosting Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman this week. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand is going to join me this morning to talk about the significance of that visit. It's 8:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
KMOX.com. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original, present 100 years of KMOX.
October 20th, 1982.
There when St. Louis celebrated.
Sitter from the belt to the plate. A swing and a miss, and that's the winner. That's the winner. A World Series winner for the Cardinals. Porter throws his mask into the air. The players converge around the mound. The police arrive on the scene. The Cardinals have won the game 6-3. The Cardinals have won the National League pennant. And the Cardinals have won the 1982 World Series.
There for every headline, every heartbreak, every heartbeat. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Competitive rates to help you save more and borrow smarter. Visit togethercu.org.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
You've got your whole life ahead of you. So choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. So go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
8:30 now. Time for another check of the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got some trouble in St. Charles County now, Megan. This traffic reports the service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm got a crash eastbound 70. They reported it near K. I think it's TRU's, but the delays begin at Bryan Road, and it's solid from K to TRU's. And another crash that's out there westbound 64 as well. They're clearing it from the left lane just before Big Bend. It's a solid jam at the Science Center to that one. Southbound 170, still delays from near Page down to 64. South 270, 364 to Ladue, still busy. If you're on eastbound 64, the bulk of the volume is Mason to 270 and Spady all the way in through the inner belt. If you're on northbound 270, still bogged down approaching Gravois all the way up to Ladue. North 55, a little busy. Bayless, River to Pear, 44 approaching the Poplar downtown. And westbound 64, still stop-and-go pockets from Baugh Avenue across the bridge. Eastbound 64, a short backup as you approach Highway 50 from about midway back to 159. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, it is sponsored from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. It looks like we are going to have some sunshine today, but some clouds as well, because we're looking for showers and thunderstorms as we head through the midday hours. It's going to be warmer today as well, with a high around 68 degrees. When we look into tonight, mostly cloudy. Looks like we're going to have an overnight low around 49, which is pretty much the same as it was last night. And then tomorrow, considerably cloudy and cooler with rain at times, a high around 59 degrees. Right now we have 53 degrees in Florissant, 53 degrees in St. Peters, and 54 degrees downtown at the Arch.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Over FanDuel, the number one sports book in America, is going live on December 1st. But you don't have to wait until then to sign up, because when you sign up today, you get an early signing bonus. So if you join today, you get started with $400 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From live betting to same-game parlays, FanDuel is the best place to bet on all your favorite teams, sports, and players. And starting December 1st, you can get in on the action right here in Missouri, which I'm going to be doing from the man cave. So visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri to join today. You play your game with FanDuel, America's number one sports book. 21 and older and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Early sign up, $100 offer. Bonus bets expire 30 days after FanDuel accepts its first real money sports wager in Missouri. Unique user identity verification is required. Post-launch $300 offer. First online real money wager, only $5 first deposit required. Bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. President Trump will host Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. It's the first trip to the United States for the Crown Prince since the 2018 killing of a Washington Post reporter by Saudi agents. We're joined now by CBS News' Ed O'Keefe. Ed, thank you so much for being with me this morning.
Great to be with you.
So this follows a trip by Mr. Trump in May to that country. What's the purpose of the meeting here in the United States now?
This is essentially the follow-up meeting. The Crown Prince announced about $600 billion in planned investments in the United States during that trip, which is why the president made it his first stop of the second term. And so today and tomorrow is in essence designed to see through much of that work. The Crown Prince is getting what amounts to like a rival for a head of state today, but he's not the head of state. Remember, his father runs Saudi Arabia, at least titularly. And so the Crown Prince today getting an elaborate arrival that is expected to include some elements of the military on the ground and overhead, a big flyover, followed by a big black tie dinner tonight that looks like a state dinner but can't be called one. And the whole reason he's getting this is because of that $600 billion or so in terms of purchasing F-35 military jets from the United States, despite some objections by folks over at the Pentagon worried that Saudi Arabia might share some of those technologies with other countries, especially China. There will be other announcements in the energy, technology, and AI sectors, especially at an investment summit that the two leaders will headline tomorrow over at the Kennedy Center here in Washington. So this is, in essence, all about big money, boosting the American economy. And remember, it's the first trip of the Crown Prince to the United States since 2018. It was shortly after that the Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi was killed. U.S. intelligence later assessed it was the Crown Prince who was aware of it and may have ordered the killing, despite the fact that he has said publicly he knew nothing about it.
Now, the sale of F-35s, that would be a pretty big shift. What could it mean in the Middle East and especially the United States relationship with Israel?
Yeah, well, and Israel isn't entirely pleased about it, but what it signals is that the United States is plowing ahead with its own longtime security and military partnerships with Saudi Arabia. In fact, they are likely to sign off on some new language around that. And it's a reminder to Israel that, you know, while it is a key ally and the United States is obviously its biggest booster in that region, it continues to work with other countries, even those who have not yet normalized relations with Israel. The president was hoping that Saudi Arabia would announce plans to normalize relations with Israel during this trip because, of course, they were working on that during the Biden administration up until the October 7th, 2023 attacks. And the Crown Prince has said he's not going forward with any type of normalization until Israel recognizes plans for a Palestinian state. The Israeli prime minister does not. So the Saudis say they're not going to do that yet. But the 20-point peace plan that the president had put forth in recent months was approved by the UN Security Council yesterday with unanimous approval. So that's seen as a sort of good first step, one that would be seen as encouraging to the Saudis, but not enough yet for them to normalize relations with Israel, despite its objections or concerns that they may be buying F-35 jets.
That's CBS News correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Ed, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Yep, take care.
Your Money Report is next.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your Money Report now. It's sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's John Tucker.
ChatGPT, social media platform X, and some transit agencies among the websites blocking users' access as the web security firm Cloudflare worked to address a widespread worldwide networking outage this morning. Mass layoffs by U.S. companies jumped to about 39,000 in October. That's one of the highest levels on record. This according to just released data from the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. The Bitcoin rally that welcomed a wave of new investors through easy-to-access ETFs has officially gone underwater. Investors in U.S. exchange-traded funds that offer direct access to the cryptocurrency found themselves sitting on collective losses. And Nike's new sneaker drop with the rapper Travis Scott, among the most popular shoe releases ever. Scott's blue and white Fragment Jordan 1 sneakers, which were made in collaboration with Nike, attracted more than 4.4 million valid raffle entries. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
You know that expression, put a little spring in your step? Well, whoever said it must have been talking about Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with Glide Step, you get a pillow-like soft landing, then an explosive takeoff. It makes walking feel effortless. So springy, it's almost like you're floating. And speaking of effortless, have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins technology? Just step in, and instantly your shoes are on. No bending down and no touching. Try Glide Step hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services in November. That means veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. Details on their website. Schedule your annual garage door tune-up before winter really sets in. Just call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
After a disaster, emotional recovery takes time. Show Me Hope Missouri offers free, confidential support wherever you are. Call or text 1-800-985-5990 and connect with a local crisis counselor today. From Missouri Department of Mental Health.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. A Vandalia, Illinois man facing first-degree murder and criminal sexual assault charges in the death of a 14-year-old girl. Members of the union Starbucks Workers United plan a picket line outside the coffee house on Hampton by 6440 to push for better hours, staffing, and benefits. And defense officials say hundreds of National Guard troops deployed to Chicago and Portland, Oregon are being sent home. Those who will remain will not be on the streets. Let's check the roads now with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got 64 crashes, Megan. They're still dealing with the one in the left lane, westbound 64, just before Big Bend. It's a solid jam back pretty close to Kings Highway. And then in Metro East, we have one eastbound 64. I think we had one yesterday about the same spot, right near Highway 50, a couple lanes blocked, so it's jammed midway back to 159. If you're on eastbound 64 on the Missouri side, it's still slow. 94 to Research Park, Clarkson to Timberlake, Lindbergh through the Interbelt southbound, south of Page down to 64 is bogged down. North 270 north of Gravois up to 64 is pretty busy. 55 still some slow stuff approaching River to Pear. Eastbound 70 Bryan Road into TR Hughes. We had a couple of minor crashes there earlier, and westbound 64 is still slow 3rd Street to the Poplar, eastbound 44 Lafayette to the bridge is also heavy. I'm Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by the Moolah Shrine Center Festival of Trees.
Hello, everyone. I want to invite you to the Moolah Festival of Trees. Come see over 40 of the best decorated trees you'll ever see. Adult tickets are only $2 and kids under 12 are free. November 22nd through the 29th at the Moolah Shrine Center.
Welcome back to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. Our next guest has spent many hours of his own time helping survivors of intimate partner violence. Will Hallas is a litigation partner at Cordell & Cordell. He was recently honored for his volunteer service by St. Louis Survivors Legal Support. Will, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me, Megan.
So you have been volunteering your time to help advocate for survivors who are seeking protection from abuse. Why is this so important to you?
Well, I mean, I've been in family law, which is the area of law that this pretty much covers for the last 16 years. And so I've seen how these sort of things impact individuals in our community, family members, friends, and clients. So this is an area where I think there's an area of need and where we can do a lot of good.
What would happen if these survivors did not have your help?
Well, so to me, the biggest thing is a lot of survivors are afraid to go into court. And it's very difficult if it's not something that you do every day, to go into court and to speak in front of a judge and to tell these very intimate stories. And so a lot of times what happens is we see these individuals not coming forward in the first place, or even if they do come forward, they don't pursue the order of protection fully because of that fear. And so, you know, what we try to do is to be that support system for them so that they can move forward in their recovery process.
Beyond just that fear, how hard is it for survivors to try to navigate the legal system?
Well, especially when you get into the court system, into a litigation event, it can be very difficult, especially when it comes to presenting evidence. I mean, the rules of evidence are sometimes just very difficult to navigate in knowing what can come in, what can't come in, and even if it can come in, how to get it in. So, you know, a lot of times what I'll see just observing, if I'm not representing somebody in that, let's say there's a pro se litigant who's representing themselves, they may have a key piece of information, but they don't know how to get it in front of the judge in the proper way. And so the judge can't take that into consideration, and it can be a huge detriment to their case.
That leads to one of my next questions, and you've explained some of it, but what are some of the other things that you do help these survivors with?
Well, so in terms of St. Louis Survivors Legal Support, there is sort of a network that's been built and continuing to be built to help these individuals post litigation. From our side, on the litigation side, it's really preparation, you know, helping them first and foremost get into the order of protection office and fill out those order of protection paperwork so that they can hopefully get an ex parte order of protection or a temporary sort of emergency order of protection, but then preparing them for court, you know, talking them through the process so that they can feel a little bit more comfortable when they go in. And you know, I emphasize a little bit more comfortable because it's still uncomfortable for a lot of these individuals. But what we've found and what I've noticed, sort of the most fulfilling part of it, is seeing these individuals go through the process and come out on the other side, and just the amount of gratitude that is shown is, you know, a little overwhelming at sometimes.
When it comes to financial means, would a lot of these individuals even have the resources to hire someone to help them do this?
No, I mean, it is an expensive, it can be, I should say, an expensive process to hire an attorney to go through this whole process. And that's part of the reason, and one of the main driving reasons for St. Louis Survivors Legal Support is to provide these services at no cost so that these individuals don't have to worry about, can I afford to have an attorney come and help me out with this process? It's just sort of another burden that can be taken off their shoulders.
Now, Will, I'm guessing that if you're a litigation partner at Cordell and Cordell, you are fairly busy. But from what I read, you had the most hours that you had devoted to this as far as the number of cases. How do you fit it in?
I'm lucky to have a firm that supports me in this. Both myself and another one of our litigation partners, Kristen Zurich, we do volunteer a fairly significant amount of time, but a big part is the support of the firm and sort of their willingness and understanding to know that the practice of law, it is difficult. And when we can be involved in these sort of community programs where we can help out individuals who otherwise couldn't really afford our services, it's something that is just, sort of part of our oath as attorneys to help individuals who are in need. And so, to me, it's really just having a good supportive firm behind me.
How do you feel like that advocacy helps stop that cycle of intimate partner violence?
So what I've seen, and we do both initial order of protections and renewals of those order of protections. And so I've had a couple of renewals that have gone to a full hearing. And you can see that in those, at least for me, in those instances, the individuals on the other side are having a difficult time in stopping sort of that cycle of violence from their side. So having these orders of protection in place, having somebody there to help these survivors sort of move forward in their recovery process and be able to have the legal support beyond just the sort of social supports that are also there, I think it really helps out because they feel safer when they have this. A lot of people will say an order of protection is just a piece of paper, but it's much more than that. And I think it's empowering for these individuals to have that order of protection, knowing that there are consequences for domestic violence.
So you are one of the first recipients of the Jim Holleran Legacy of Advocacy Award presented by the St. Louis Survivors Legal Support. Congratulations. And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Megan.
That's Will Hallas, litigation partner at Cordell and Cordell. Do you write a lot of emails? You may be using the same buzzwords over and over again. We're going to tell you how to write something better coming up.
I'm Tom Ackerman. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
It's Tom Ackerman, Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. Your premier Genesis dealer, Genesis of St. Charles. Now is the time to visit. It's the signature event at Genesis of St. Charles. They want your trade, and they're willing to pay more for it on any new Genesis purchase. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing. Unlock the e-price today by going to genesisofstcharles.com, and you'll find that every purchase, every one, comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis service valet. Let me tell you, luxurious service at their state-of-the-art facility, 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. It's Genesis of St. Charles. You can get started online at genesisofstcharles.com, but I do highly recommend that you come into the dealership. It's fantastic. genesisofstcharles.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. KMOX proudly supports the Musial Awards, returning to Stiefel Theater Saturday, November 22nd. You can be in the audience for this nationally televised event, hosted right here in St. Louis. Named for Stan the Man, the show celebrates the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those who embody class and character. Experience the extraordinary moments and people that make the Musial Awards an event like no other. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM this morning. I'm Megan Lynch. Do you have go-to phrases that you use when you craft emails? Zero Bounce, an email verification service, analyze the most overused buzzwords. If you do a lot of reaching out or following up, your email correspondence may be sounding a little stale and canned. And let's not forget the old standard, Hope this email finds you well. I spoke with Karina Leslie of Zero Bounce about what else she found out about our digital correspondence.
We're looking at the way people use email. We're looking at digital culture as a whole. We're very interested in seeing how people behave online and how these behaviors change depending on what's going on in the world. You know, I got the idea because I kept seeing these key phrases showing up in my own inbox, and I also found myself using many of them. And I thought, I wonder how often people use these words, these phrases, these buzzwords.
Do we lose the impact of our emails because we are using these things so much?
I think we do. And I'll give you an example. I'm in the middle of hiring a PR freelancer, and I've been getting a lot of applications from people. And the people who don't use these buzzwords, their emails just sound better. They sound more confident, more crisp, easier to read. An email just sounds better when you just get straight to the point and you skip all these cliches. I find that the writing is cleaner and crisper and just reads better.
I was looking at a couple of them that are in the top 10 buzzwords or phrases that seem to get used in emails a lot. And I use two of them a lot. And I even checked myself when I emailed you for this interview. One of them is reaching out. And it looks like that is one of the top ones that people use.
Yes, it is. It is. And, you know, that didn't surprise me at all. And I'm guilty of it, too. I use reaching out a lot, especially when pitching journalists. And after doing this study, I've become much more aware of that. So I make an effort to skip this buzzword. And guess what? You can absolutely skip it. It's easy. It's actually easy when you make an effort and you think twice and you think just how can I start this email? Could I find a different phrase? Could I just get straight to the point?
What are some of the other buzzwords that you found are used far too often?
Well, number 2 and number 3 are follow up and check in. So they've been used forever, and I think people rely on them because they don't really know what to say. So let's say you email someone and they don't get back to you. A few days later, you want to follow up. So what do you say? It's a safe phrase. It's a safe phrase that people rely on, and they think it's okay. And you know, it probably is. This study is pretty lighthearted. It's not like our goal wasn't to shame anybody for using these buzzwords because we've all used them at least once. But if you take a second to think about when you write an email, if you take a second to think, could I maybe use a different phrase here? Or could I just ask my question? Or just relay that information. It's not that hard to do, and your email will sound better. And another phrase that really surprised me because I thought this was extinct was per my last email, which is it's so funny because we've seen 1,000 memes with this phrase. People make fun of it all the time, but it still shows up in emails. I guess there are still people who use it.
Do you think that we can get more attention for emails if we are more creative? And maybe could you give us some examples of how not to say, for example, reaching out or I'm following up or checking in? Because I know I've used all of those in the past.
Yes, it's true. And again, I use them too. And it's fine. It's fine. It's not a crime to use any of these buzzwords. But when following up with someone, you can just ask the question or maybe make a remark at the beginning of the email. Maybe you saw that person at a conference speaking, or you read an article they wrote or something. You can start with that and you will get their attention immediately because you're talking about them, you're making it about them and not about you. And then just continue with something like, hey, quick question. I wonder if you got a chance to look at XYZ that I sent you last week. What did you think? That would be an option. And of course, there are many, many other options.
Do you think this is even more important now as people become suspicious that artificial intelligence might be actually writing some people's emails for them?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And another study we did actually found that nearly 1 in 4 people now use AI to help them write emails. And I do notice that people are using AI a lot more than they used to. And, there are telltale signs. You can kind of tell when someone used AI to write at least a part of their email. And it comes across as inauthentic. It does. Even though the email may be, the email may be perfect. It sounds perfectly fine, but you can feel there's a robotic tone to it. So it is more important because if you want to stand out in someone's inbox, people get about 112 emails a day. Several studies have shown that. So we're bombarded with emails, and it's hard for someone to get our attention, right? And if you want to stand out, using language that's more human and authentic really, really helps you do that.
Karina, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you as well.
That's Karina Leslie of Zero Bounce.
It's a bad day to be Chris Ranji because the trial begins this morning to decide if Sheriff Alfred Montgomery will be removed from office. Plus, WashU was featured in a CBS News story about new clinical trials in Alzheimer's prevention. It all starts at 9 a.m. on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Time now for today's spotlight on health and wellness.
Dehydration can be dangerous as water makes up 2/3 of our body. Good hydration keeps us in balance to prevent not just dry skin, but headaches, constipation, confusion, and kidney stones. A general recommendation is to